Nerd could rise up. It could get elevated. Nerd could rise up. It could get elevated. Nerdcore used to be
MacGyver arrives in a sleek blue armor as his namesake. As he frantically waves his arms around, two blades pop out of the elbows.
Oh, there, big guy. This happen often?
I promise you, Kyle, this is the first time it's happened to me. It's my first time since my first time.
You know, they make sprays for that.
Oh, calling Dr. Props, huh? Well, welcome to Every Man's Guide to Nerddom, where we are two 30 to 40-something-year-olds who talk about pretty much whatever we want. I'm Chris.
And I'm Kyle, and you guys might know us online from the Twitches as Guyver. So I got to point that way. And Kasich, that's me. And we got a special episode today.
Well, today's episode is cosplay. This is going to be a high overview of cosplay and prop making. This is so in detail. We really don't want to hit you all at once with everything. Literally, the process is super in depth and very time consuming. So we want to do what we did with the role-playing episode, is give you the high level. We'll go into a little bit of detail. It's our show. We'll probably go into some tangent on detail. I guarantee you it's going to happen, but we're going to try and bring it back to the high level. That's the plan, at least. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, so that's going to be kind of like, I mean, we're going to try to hit the meat potatoes of it, just not go too deep into it, but hell, we may end up going super deep into it. We just want to, like Chris said, give a general idea of it, because it's nothing that I have any particular expertise or experience with, and I don't believe Chris does either, but we do have somebody with us this episode that does, and if you guys are watching the video, you'll see down below there's a finely bearded gentleman down there. We know him as BlastedProps. It's his handle also on Twitch. We go back a little over a year now from some of our online gaming times together. Yeah, Mr. BlastedProps.
I go back 3 months.
Also known as AJ. What do you want us? You want to be AJ? You want to be James? You want to be Props?
Okay, so yeah, I mean, when I do my prop making, most people know me as BlastedProps. The RP community, they know me as James. To my friends and family, they just call me AJ. I don't think ever in my life have I ever really been called my actual name.
So do you just want us to call you Mr. or Sir or Captain?
Doctor? Not
Dr.
doctor.
Props?
I'm not certified to be a doctor. I can tell you that right now. Okay.
But hey, you know what? He could make a costume out of it. He could make a cosplay.
We can do that. We can definitely do that. Props, James, AJ, they all work. It doesn't really matter. Do want to appreciate you guys having me on here. You know, long time listener, first time talker. So
well, we appreciate you coming on. We've been really excited to have you on this episode. It's something I've been looking forward to because, like I said, I know what I see online. I know a couple cosplayers. If you're listening to this and you're my friend, I'm sorry, but you're kind of shit if you're my friend. Not really. You're way better than me. I just wanted to get
right here.
In it everywhere.
I thought I was okay.
Kyle just cosplays as Sailor Moon all the time, and it's a very poor Sailor Moon because it's usually him in a skirt with no underwear on.
Or
usually what
like I like to call it around here, Sundays. So
Sundays, he just sends me pictures. I don't delete them, but this is an episode I've been really excited about, and we wanted to get, like we stated before, we want to give you a high level overview of this, just so it's something that you all get more familiar with. And what I love about this episode is, again, it's not a subject matter I'm an expert in. It's not a subject matter Kyle's an expert in. So we're going to be learning along with you all on this. So
I'm excited about
With
this
that,
because
let's get
like
it.
this is something I've been interested in a long time. I don't know if it's something like I don't know. Hell, I may partake at some point in time. I don't know, where I would go with that, but just the
I mean, getting into it's really simple.
that's
It
perfect.
doesn't take much to get into.
Yeah,
It,
the simpler
we'll
the
discuss
better.
what it takes to get into it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
See, that's exactly what we're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
It's a rabbit hole from there. So
it really is. Okay, I'm looking at my notes here. Kyle, I'm looking. Did we get a new sponsor this week?
Sort of. We have a new-ish sponsor. It's still the same sponsor. We still have Horny Harry, but he is continuing to expand upon his empire. He had the horn mounting service, which is doing gangbusters. He's doing great with that. The car wash, some legal issues possibly, but I think he's going to get through that and be able to go ahead and pull on through to the next one. And then what I got here from our notes is he's branching out Horny Harry's Viking beard butter. And so
Ooh,
yeah,
I couldn't benefit from it, from this scraggly thing
maybe
that looks like I literally rolled around on the
Maybe-
barbershop
maybe
floor,
it'll help,
but
though.
You
Maybe.
two could.
Yeah, I mean,
Maybe.
I don't know. Beard butter.
beard
butter.
old beard butter. But yeah,
Well, beard butter. Well, let's roll it. I'm interested to hear this. I'm interested to hear what the next endeavor is. You
All right.
roll it?
Yep, let's roll that beautiful beard butter footage.
For Odin! Hey, what's wrong, Bjornsson?
I don't know. Something's just off. I just can't get into pillaging today.
Oh, come on, big guy. Something is wrong. Just tell me.
Do you ever get into these battles and have that not so fresh feeling? I feel that my beard is dry and smelly. I feel that no one wants to see a Viking with a dry, smelly beard. No villagers want me to drag them to their deaths with this beard.
Well, of course. Have you heard of Horny Harry's Viking beard butter?
Have you felt not clean down there, unclean, smelly, and have a dry beard? Of course, we all have. There's no worse feeling when raiding villages. This is why I developed Horny Harry's Viking beard butter, made up of the finest ingredients only found in nature. We use only the finest goat spleen, fish eyes, horse dung, and berries and beetles to make up my beard butter. Take a handful from our special container, just use cow udder and squeeze it out. Lather a generous amount on your smelly Viking beard and give it that shine. Feel confident and raid with a renewed confidence. Oh, thank you, Horny Harry's beard butter. This is just what I needed. For Odin!
For Odin! Horny Harry's Viking beard butter is untested on humans. EGTN does not endorse the consumption of Viking beard butter. It may cause warts, hemorrhoids, earwigs, and frequent urination.
Thank you, Horny Harry's beard butter. That's what we needed. For Odin.
Man, that is for Odin. That is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Like I never
notes.
thought.
I might have to maybe invest or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, there's one thing that we learned is Horny Harry is ever expanding. When we mean ever expanding, it could be that the businesses are closing up and he's just going to the next thing, like the car wash. Apparently, and we'll just tell you how it is. Apparently, when you offer to give happy endings to the Cadillacs, the business doesn't really hang around too much.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Like,
So
I'd look to be a private.
The other cars are jealous.
Well, see, I look to be a private investor in what Harry had going on, and like I followed the links, and I'm not really sure where I ended up at. Is like click here to support, and I think he was like he might be selling fans too. I don't know. It seemed like that was like the only thing there was fans. So, but I didn't
like OnlyFans.
Just OnlyFans, yeah. And
Horny Harry's OnlyFans.
Mm-hmm. And so I didn't really
just
get
for
to
the different businesses.
Mm-hmm. I didn't follow through with that one. I might check that out after the show. I'll let you guys know in the next episode how that is.
Sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, please do. Actually, that could be what we help him create one of his shirts for his channel.
Mm-hmm.
Horny Harry's OnlyFans. What is cosplay? Let's get down to it. What is cosplay? Cosplay is basically a combination of the two words costume play. The official definition, I guess you could say of is this: it's an activity or performance art in which participant called cosplayers wear costumes and fashion accessories to represent a specific character. Now, that's the official definition, I guess, quote unquote official definition. My definition is people who really love something, a particular genre or character or show, and they dress up like it. Like someone could dress up like Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Someone could dress up like a character from Warhammer. Someone could dress up like I said earlier, Kyle and his Sailor Moon, which is fine.
It's a thing.
On Sundays.
It's a
It
thing.
is the thing. It's just, well, okay, let's put it this way. My original definition of it back when was a fan of it, of who could do something. Now I think, and Props can probably attest to this, or he'll have more to add on this later in the show. It's not so much just fans anymore. Now it's people who are just trying to make these amazing cosplay costumes, prop costumes, and make money off of it. So
Yes and no. There are people who do it to definitely make money. I've heard and seen people quit their day jobs to get into prop making and costume making and all the such. And they justify themselves as cosplayers, and a couple months later they're looking for a job again because they realize it takes a lot. It can take a lot.
which is really, really interesting to hear.
Are you saying that's people that were cosplayers that try to roll that over into like the making business, or trying to become just professional cosplayers?
So what I'm basically saying is, like, okay, they built props, they made costumes, and they went to comic conventions, and people like, oh, you should do that for a living, you should do that for a living. Me, I do it as a hobby. I take commissions from time to time, but I only take commissions on things that I like, because if it's something that I can't get behind, then the motivation isn't there to actually finish the product. But these people, they're taking on whatever they can, and they're not able to produce quality because, like I said, you got to have the motivation behind what you're making. If you don't have the motivation, then you don't get too creative into making the project or the process. There are people out there who have been very successful, so it's a weird market to get into, or a business. Some people instantly, like, they flourish instantly. Other people, they just they get in over their head way too quick.
Let's talk about that for a sec. Why do you think, what do you think the draw is for people to quit their jobs to do this full time? Do you think it's the money? Do you think it's because they think it's fun? Do you think it's both?
Well, I think everybody's official dream is to not work for somebody else, and it's, they want to work for themselves. They want to, like, it's, some people will get the idea of a quick get rich quick scheme. I'm sure some people think that, that'll pop into their head instantly, and when they realize that it's a lot of work, for example, that suit back there, that it took me about a year to make. Now, could I have done it in under a month? Yes, but I had a full-time job, because that costs money to make.
Now, for those who are
need a
listening,
disposable income to do this.
for those who are listening, Props, what are you pointing to? What is it?
I have a Space Marine from Warhammer 40K, the Silver Skulls branch to be precise, and it stands 7'2".
So
yes,
those who
there's
aren't
stilts,
watching the
there's
YouTube,
stilts in it.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Like, it is.
And it took
fucking
me a year to
amazing.
make, and that was just working nights and weekends whenever I had free time. Let it be like, okay, I got 30 minutes of free time. Okay, I'll mold and cast some freaking purity seals, and that's what I did.
which is amazing. So those of you who don't watch the YouTube channel, after we air this episode, we're going to have Props take a picture of everything that we're referencing that he's showing off on the channel during the interview, and then we'll post it in the Discord chat so everyone can see what we're talking
Yeah.
about.
You guys need to see
Because
this stuff because it's amazing.
It's nuts. It's really nuts.
But yeah, no, that took me a year.
Unbelievable.
And there's other things, like a lot of people, like if helmets are a great way to make profit on something like, you know, being a maker, because they're quick, they're small, and you know, it just doesn't require a lot of time and research and, you know, the in-depth on it. Freaking, I can throw a helmet together in a day, less than. Actually, here, a lot of people in the prop community were doing these one-day builds. This is a mask from For Honor, the game,
Awesome.
and it took me like 2 hours.
What's it made out of?
EVA foam.
That's what's
Literally,
flying.
it is like foam that is glued together and then painted. Most of my stuff is made out of EVA foam. I do dabble in, like, you know, mold making and casting and all that. But I've also done a few fiberglass builds, and that's just a painstaking process.
So what?
I don't.
What's-
I wanna-
recommend that.
Like, what sparked it for you? What? So I've like, let's start at the beginning. You know, so
Let's start at the beginning.
so we were
Just
all,
so everyone knows,
you met
we
some
have
people
our
in a tavern?
yeah. In a tavern.
So the year is 2008. So for some of the people who know me, I am prior military. After getting out of the military, I developed an issue with sleeping where I don't. And my wife can contest to this, to where I'd be awake for 24, 48, 72, you know, hours at a time. And then I'd pass out, just I'm done. One night I am playing, I think it was Halo 3 on my Xbox, and I'm running around as Master Chief, and I was like, oh, that's pretty fucking sweet, you know? I was like, I really like how they did his you know, the armor on it and all that. And then I was just like, something just clicked in my head. I was like, I want that. I want a Master Chief suit. And I got on Google, because Google's your best friend.
And your worst enemy.
And your worst enemy. And I found people actually making Master Chief suits. And they were doing it through a program called Pepakura. Basically, they load a 3D image into it, and then you can cut it to lay out on 2-dimensional paper. And I was watching them build it, and I've probably cycled through it tons of times, because when it gets into like actually making something, research is your best friend. The more research and freaking concept pictures and photo art that you can grab, the better. Especially from different angles. Different
So-
angles are key.
On that, what did you grab? Did you grab other people's designs, like how they did stuff? Did you grab the stuff
Well-
from the game, concept art?
So what I did,
Mhm.
and the maker community is actually very open
Mhm.
and willing to share and help each other make stuff.
Which is awesome.
What I did is, first, you know, I scrolled through all the pictures of people who have built the suits.
Mhm.
And it just made me want to make them even more. And then I was like, what do I need to do this? And so I just started doing the research on that, found out that the program was called Pepakura. It's a free software that you can download.
Mhm.
I downloaded it. They have a pro version that actually lets you go in there and edit and clip and cut and, you know, do where you want, add different mountains and valleys on the paper. I don't have any of that anymore because I branched off from doing the fiberglass, but
Mhm.
this is the fiberglass version of it. And other people have made programs from since then, but once you have that, you need a printer that prints cardstock because cardstock is your most durable paper.
I can see that.
You would print everything out on a two-dimensional plane of cardstock, and then you would cut it out. And it's a painstaking process to cut these out because it's just a bunch of little angles and cuts and snips and snips and snips. And some of them are 256 pieces that you're going to end up gluing together.
Jeez.
Damn.
Now, for
Jeez.
me, I looked around, and I found people who just uploaded the files for free. And they're like, set your, because in the settings of the pepper curry, you can set it to scale for size. You know, if you're 6 foot above, you know, if you're 6 feet tall, set it to this. If you're, 5'7", set it to this.
Mhm.
People that actually like they sit and take the time to figure these out, and then they upload the information. And that's the best part about the maker community. People are willing to help one another.
Which is really cool because that's not something you see a lot of nowadays. I know we've bitched about this before, especially with the Nerkies on WandaVision. Like, there's not a lot of human kindness in the world right now, and that's just refreshing to hear something like that. That it's and props. I don't want to. Let me preference. I don't want to say that I was saying that you were stealing ideas or anything when
Right.
you were reference. This is coming from a pure ignorance that I don't know how you do stuff. So I want to preference that I wasn't
Yeah.
accusing anything.
No, even in the maker community, there is theft. It happens. People will steal somebody's files like this, that suit. Yeah, it's of my own design, but the base template was somebody else's.
Okay. Just someone just put up.
Right. And I've made the alterations to where I saw fit. And I was like, well, I don't like how they did that. I'm going to do it a bit different.
Sure.
And there is theft. I've seen people sit and take the time to mold something out of clay to perfection, cast it, mold it, cast it, and then sell it, and somebody buy it, and then they make a mold and cast of it and advertise it as their own.
Which is bullshit.
And it happens.
It's like anything, like intellectual property stuff like
right.
that. Software. It
Mhm.
happens no matter what you do. Doesn't make it right.
But I mean, it's such a great community to be a part of, and people are always willing to help one another. I've put out for commissions. I've had people make like 3D design me things in the beginning because it wasn't one of my expertises. And when I received the commission back, I sent them another message say, would it be all right for me to sell this? Because technically I paid for it.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the time, yes, I get a yes back. They're like, go ahead.
That's cool.
But most people will be like, at least give me a plug. And of course I'm going to give a plug. You produce good work. I'm going to say, this file was created by
right
so-and-so.
So, we see that a lot in the content creation community too. I mean, we've seen it with our avatars and logos and all the shit that we either make or we, if you're artistically, inept like me, you have somebody else make it and then you do all the fun stuff with it. But like my avatar and some of my logos and stuff, I had that commissioned out, and that was, Tumble did those for me, which I hope to have her on
she's
sometime soon.
Freaking great.
And but I made, that was something I made clear with her that, or I made sure that was clear that can I use this for other things within like my brand and things that I'm doing. She's like, it's yours, do what you will with it. And that's how most people are. My logo I had made from Fiverr and some guy in, I think it was Pakistan that did it. It's like same thing, it's yours, but I just wanted to, that's something you always want to clarify, like, can we use this for branding? Can we use it for that? Like our logo that we have behind us. We went through the same thing with that. So it's, I'm hearing a lot of similarities, like with what you're doing here. Cause I mean, you're part of the content creation community too. Cause this props also streams and, And that's something you hear a lot, like going way back earlier when you were talking about, people quitting their full-time job and wanting to try to do this full-time. You see that a lot. And there's some dream chasing going on there, and there's people that
There
are
is.
realistic about it, and there's people that are just like, screwed, I'm going, balls deep on this, and we're going to try it. And a lot of them, I mean, it's tough. It's
Mhm.
near impossible to go full-time with, whether it's what we're doing, what you're also doing, or what you're also doing with the prop making. It's
Yeah.
and I like that really resonated with me what you said as far as you taking commissions, but you're only going to take commissions on things that you enjoy making.
Yes.
And I think that's what we try to do on the content creation side too. We're going to play and stream stuff, but we're not going to do it because it's popular necessarily. We're going to do it because we enjoy it. Now, if it's popular and we enjoy it, that's a plus.
That's
But
just a plus. Yeah. It's
you
just an added happy accident.
it shows when we're playing and entertaining and doing stuff on something, a game that we don't enjoy or a topic that we don't enjoy versus, something that we're having fun with. And I'm sure that would show in your work too, that, if it's a particular media set, a video game, movie, comic series, whatever, and it's something that you enjoy, you're probably going to put more little fine details and personalized touches and things in it than you would if it's something that you could, give two shits less about.
Yeah, absolutely. Completely agree.
So, like all of our episodes, we have a talking points. And we're gonna skip around like we always we're gonna skip around like we always do. Like we've kind of gone into talking point like number 6 right now.
Yeah.
So
no, absolutely.
we're gonna jump back and forth. So we're gonna hit them.
Well, we're getting
It's just it may not make sense because I was looking at the talking points. I'm like, oh, we still got to go back to the history of cosplay.
There's like, Chris, we're the only ones that can see the list.
It doesn't matter. But it doesn't. Just so if it sounds like we're jumping around, because we are. Because again, Kyle and I don't know shit about this, and that's why we are so excited about this episode. Actually, our next couple shows that we have coming up, we don't know shit about. We know we like it.
I like this thing. I want to talk about this thing. And I want to talk to people
even
about
if we
this
don't
thing.
like it. Even if we don't like it, we're still going to talk about it. That's what the show's about.
Well, I mean, and I like learning about things, so that always helps, even if it's like a topic that I'm not like particularly passionate about. Like I like learning, I like hearing people's side of it. Like this stuff I like. 100%. I always thought this was cool, and just seeing the stuff that Props make, seeing the stuff that Tumble makes, like all of our friends that we watch make stuff is, it's cool and it's fun to support them. Like right before, we might have been a little bit late getting on the call because me and Props were in.
And we're helping out a friend.
Helping out a friend that was streaming her content or her, what was she making tonight? Something.
That
She's always making something.
Who was it?
I don't know. It was Suspicious Tumbleweed.
Suspicious Tumbleweed.
Oh, okay, Suspicious Tumbleweed.
And
the one
honestly,
who did you guys' avatar stuff, right?
Yeah, she does our avatar stuff. She takes on great commission work. And if you guys get on Twitch, I go give her a follow, watch her stuff. She's talented as hell.
Very unique
Her
style.
about mine.
I
definitely need to contact her about my stuff then.
We pushed her through a hype train to level 5 tonight.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Cute,
she didn't know it went that high.
Yeah.
Actually, while you guys are talking, let me go find her so I can. Is she in our Discord?
Possibly.
She might be.
It's like what Chris was talking about. So we'll kind of round back around while he's searching things on the internet.
All right. So the
search
history
for her
of
so I can
cosplay?
contact
Is that
her.
where we're at?
We're at the history of cosplay.
And so
Maybe I'll search it later.
See, I found like 2 references, like kind of where it started. There's one that goes back to the.
Did you find the one that was from like
1939?
Oh, from 1908.
Yeah, that's.
Oh, you found one 1908?
Yeah.
Was it Ye Old Role Playing Shop?
Yeah.
Ye Old Coca-Cola?
Yeah, they didn't even have to be like ironic about the terminology and things. Like that's just what it was. No, it was so the one that we talked about before was like 1939,
Nine.
world's first science fair. So the big, the world's would that have been? Let's see, New York City's first world
Science Fiction Convention.
And it was sci-fi guru Forrest J. Ackerman donned a cape and ties to portray a pulp-inspired futuristic entity at that convention. So that's like, I guess that would maybe be your first Comic-Con cosplayer, possibly.
Introduction, right?
So there is a reference back to 1908 where Mr. and Mrs. William Fell, a Cincinnati, Ohio couple, attended a masquerade ball in costumes depicting Mr. Skygack and Miss Pickles, Martians from a newspaper comic that first ran in the Chicago Daybook.
Huh.
And
That's nuts.
I mean,
this is why I like
you
doing
could probably
the show.
trail it back even further to like, when China did it, because China does everything first. No, I'm joking. Sorry.
No,
China did it.
You're not wrong.
The Simpsons did it.
You're not wrong.
So
The Simpsons did it. There it is. The Simpsons did it.
So on that note, there was also, when I was looking at this, Morojo is widely regarded as, well, if you go by this article, a couple articles I was reading, as the mother of cosplay, basically. They said
Coined the term, yeah.
Okay, they said that her real name was Myrtle Rebecca Douglas Smith Gray Nolan.
Holy shit!
That's born 1904, died in 1964. Apparently, they said or something. Morojo or Myrtle R. Douglas is a science fiction fan, fanzine publisher, and cosplay pioneer from LA. Basically, they said she designed all the costumes for this 1939 event for people to wear.
Oh, okay.
That's
I thought you were talking. You said Morojo, and I was thinking maybe you're mispronouncing the dude's name in Japan who coined the term. My mistake.
No. This is the one who they said is they coined as the mother of cosplay. So
that's great.
And what? Okay,
costuming.
Props. Who are you talking about? Since we're talking about history.
I'm trying to remember here.
Takahashi.
The guys.
Takahashi.
I think that was the guy. He attended. What was it? It was a
World Science Convention.
Was it a World Science Convention
in 1984?
Yeah, that's it. And like he went on and he wrote his article about how like the people were showing up in costumes and how cool it was. And I can't pronounce the Japanese term that he used, but it translates to cosplay. And like that's when the term got coined,
which is awesome.
And it took a while to actually catch traction. I don't think it came around until about the 90s is when it really started getting mainstream, being used by all the people going to the convention.
A similar article I was reading, which I never even thought about putting the two together with cosplay in this particular instance, is the Rocky Horror Picture Show from 1975.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's 100%. That's what that is. Like
Tim Curry, Dr. Frankenfurter.
Yeah.
I've never been to a live showing of it, and I need to go.
I do too. I heard it's great.
I heard that's like an experience about seeing.
There is a theater in my city that plays it at least once a month, and people come dressed up like the characters, and they get up on the stage and they literally voice it word for word and do all the actions word for word. And it is insane.
If that's not cosplay, if that's not fandom, I don't even know, what would be. So
right.
Which is awesome. The article I was reading, so Prop said that, 90s is when it started getting a little bit more mainstream.
Mm-hmm.
The article I was reading said 84 is where I guess they quote unquote termed it coined it, the cosplay. Right. And then it was kind of there, but then it goes back to our role-playing episode. It was the dorks, it was the nerds that did it when they got together for these conventions.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't mainstream.
The timing of it And so late 80s, early 90s seems to really coincide with the rise of the popularity of Japanese animation in America. Because that would be, I mean, it's been, it's not, anime is not just, regulated to like, oh, it started in the 80s, it's been around forever. But it becoming popular in the Western world in American was probably, I would say, late 80s, early 90s with,
I'd go with that.
I say like with your Dragon Balls and such coming out, and
Dragon Balls.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean, then that goes back to what I was talking about earlier with the research. Watching TV, playing video games,
Mhm.
concept art.
well, it's like, there's Dragon Ball. Before that, there was Robotech.
Yeah.
Robotech came over in '85. That was the year before Transformers the movie. Robotech was a combo of like 4 different shows.
Mm-hmm.
But that was like one of the first introductions. You had Akira, which was '86.
oh, it
Something like
was.
that?
I thought it was later 80s.
Was it maybe
That's-
later? But it's all around. You've got the Robotechs, you've got the Dragon Balls, you've
Akira was
got
88.
Was 88. Okay, so it was much later then. But it around that time period is when it was just a magical time for us who've never seen that, because we had like the Thundercats, the Transformers, stuff like that, and
Yeah.
that's the Americanized version, and then we get the big-eyed, bright hair, strong bad versions of what an anime character should look like.
It's
They're gonna have big eyes and they're gonna fly through the air and they're gonna have hair.
Consummate V's. I said consummate V's.
So that's the strong bad version. So it's just really cool how it took off. Oh, we think it's cool how it took off. I'm sure, it was a slow going back then. I don't know, because I was a wee lad back then.
Well, I look at the way things are popular now, and this
Right.
is just veering way off into the nerding side of things. But I'm gonna bring it back.
We'll get
around.
back on track, guys. Don't
No,
worry.
This is gonna make sense. I have a point. Eventually, it'll get there. But
It doesn't matter. It's our show.
like our age group of people, and I'm trying to really avoid being that guy. Like, well, and back in my day, and these kids now. But like our age group of people, so we grew up with that first wave of anime cartoons becoming more mainstream, with things showing on like Nickelodeon,
Adult Swim.
as we got a
Cartoon
little bit older,
Network.
Adult Swim,
USA,
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And so
the
those
cartoon train.
the release of those, and then the more adult versions of things became more popular as we aged with those, and so you see the popularity rise as this becomes more accepted, until now where it's 100% mainstream. Like it's, I wouldn't have wore some of the shirts that my kids wear to school now back in the day.
Oh yeah.
Just
Get beat up for it.
The crop tots.
yeah, with the tassels.
Yep, you knew it. You figured it out.
I've seen the pictures, props. I've known Kyle for a while. No, he's absolutely right though. You know, a lot of days these kids will wear shirts because they're retro, they're cool, or they're ironic.
Mhm.
Like, when we wore the gas station shirts that said Hank
Mm.
that we found at the thrift store.
Oh, the trucker hats.
The trucker hats. Back when they were selling the horny goat weed at the convenience stores.
Still do. I mean,
Jinko jeans.
Jinko jean. Yes.
if you could hide a Dalmatian in the leg of those things.
You
I was
could.
actually talking to Mrs. Guyver, I think it was yesterday, about the guys who used to play hacky sack in the Jinko jeans and the hoodies that look like it was made out of like hemp. I don't know what it was.
It looked like a saddle blanket is what it looked like.
Yes, that's what it looked like. And I don't know what it was. I couldn't tell you what it was because I never wear one because I was preppy little bastard. But
He was well dressed.
thank you. But it's just it's like that kind of stuff comes back, and it's just cool now to the kids.
Mhm.
Oh, there's so many like older anime movies and stuff that like I want to watch with my daughter, who,
Mhm.
you know, she's 12, she turns 13 tomorrow as of this or this recording.
You're
But
gonna have a 13-year-old?
yeah, yeah,
Oh shit.
yeah, yeah.
No,
Yeah.
no
So
thank you.
it just you got it coming, buddy. You got two of them
Mhm.
coming. Have fun with that. But
Shit.
yeah, like there's so much cool stuff, and like I'm thinking back to when like I was 13, like I would watch the shit out of the stuff that I'm watching now that I don't want her to watch just yet. And it's not like it's because she's a girl and because I'm a boy. It's like because I mean, you know, it's the parent side of me. Like I really want to watch Akira with her or Akira with her, but probably can't. Probably shouldn't. You know, but
Right.
she loves anime, and we have this battle back and forth of like who's watched what and who's finished what, and she really rubs it in my face. But like I could see her, you know, possibly like this would be a good outlet for her, you know, socially. Like she would probably like cosplay. She would probably like, you know,
Which is cool.
mhm.
Yeah.
That's great, dude. I can't
Well,
tell you the amount of conventions I've been to, and people are literally pushing their kids around in strollers dressed up like an anime character.
Which is
or-
awesome.
And I don't see
whatever.
how anybody can talk down on it at all because people do. You've heard it. I've heard it.
Mhm.
Mhm.
You know, I've never participated in the events, but I've heard the conversation and people looking down. And I just, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, what the fuck are you doing on Halloween? And you're going to,
They're
exactly.
gonna dress up as themselves.
I mean, it, you know, it riles me up a little bit, but you know, I think
Sometimes I dress up like an overprotective dad.
Hey, that's me all the time.
yeah. You know, I mean, my daughter, she's done full. What was she one year? She was Supergirl one year, and her mom had made her full outfit for her, and like it was awesome. It was
It's awesome.
really really awesome. And I, you know, that I was like, maybe that'll spark her. She want to do some of this, and instead of just playing Fortnite all day. But you know, whatever.
See, which is cool because I think you guys brought this up earlier. It's more socially acceptable now. It's easier to be able to role play. It's easier to be able to
Mhm.
cosplay. Easier to pretend.
Yeah.
Back when we were younger, it wasn't cool.
Nope.
You don't go around professing that, on the weekends you go around dressing like Goku.
Right.
Or you go to convention, what are you doing this weekend? I'm gonna watch football. What are you gonna do, Chris? I'm gonna dress like Goku and ride around on my carpet. And like carpet, it's a cloud. You wouldn't understand. Like you'd get the shit beat out of you
Mhm.
in school.
get you.
But now, unless you found, your nerd crew, which is cool, we all had them. But now it's like
Well,
I've seen. Well, okay, maybe
really
it was only
didn't.
me.
I
I
graduated
really
with
didn't.
11 people in
I-
a high school surrounded by cornfields. Okay, so
Yeah, closeted nerds until the age of like 22 or
Oh,
23.
shit. Okay, so
mm,
I was lucky. I had a graduating class of 746.
Okay,
yeah, I
graduating
didn't
class
have
of
that
20.
many people in my hometown.
Okay, yeah. So it was a lot easier for
I
me to
didn't
find
either.
people. So, okay, so if you went to a bigger school, it was easier to find places to fit in. Like,
Mhm.
well, Props and Kyle were off in the cornfields, hitting corn
Woods.
stalks with swords.
Woods,
Excuse me,
mhm.
the woods, hitting stuff with swords.
Mhm.
I was able to go to like the conventions and stuff, like with my little crew, and we weren't by no means the coolest crew. Like people would see us and we'd trip over stuff. That's a story for another time. But I think it's just more socially acceptable now,
Mhm.
and which is okay.
Now there's
And
there's something I'm kind of seeing, or and you hear about it. This is going to be with any community, and for lack of a better word, I would say it would be like hipster nerd, hipster cosplayer community, because I was, the whole thing. Oh, I was doing it before it was cool. So you really you started. You said in 2008 when you
Mhm.
wanted to be your own Master Chief. And you wanted to
Yeah.
have that.
And fun fact, to this day, I have never made a Master Chief suit.
Wait. Hey, that's an important part of the story.
It really is. Boys and girls, follow through is important.
It's like saying, like, hey, I found this cool ring in the river. I probably should take it to that mountain that's on fire, but you know what? No, I'm just gonna I'm just gonna hang
No,
out here
no,
in my little hobbit hole.
I'm calling it my precious, and
Oh, the
people
amount
wonder
of
why I do that.
the beginning of the amount of fails that I had in the beginning, it was extensive.
But so you came in. Would you say you came in kind of late in the game, even? Not necessarily by your age, but like as it's been going.
So how old were you when you started?
Okay, so
Grandpa, do you know?
when so I can actually find one other instance before 2008. I guess in the cosplaying or prop making. Way back, actually I was in high school. I did find one little group of people that I hung out with a few times, and we did LARPing. But to LARP, you need your own stuff, and you can't go to a store and buy that kind of stuff back then. It just wasn't heard of. And this was actually back, I think, in 2000, like, yeah, about the year 2000.
In the year 2000.
And we had to make our own weapons. Well, what I make most of my stuff out of nowadays, EVA foam, wasn't heard of.
Is that something new?
It's not new. It's just lately been more easier to get your hands on.
Gotcha. Was it one of those like rare materials? I guess like for some people who are younger.
Yeah, and but back then it was literally, we went to the hardware store, you bought PVC pipe, and you put the little foam insulation wraps around it, and you wrapped it in duct tape.
That's how
and
we
then you
played
beat
Highlander.
the crap out of each other with it. And there was downsides to it, like the foam coming apart and you just getting smacked by PVC piping.
Wait, you guys had foam?
Right. But like, as far as like, yeah, I've never really actually finished a Master Chief suit, and I feel to me getting started, I think I came into it at about the right age. Like I said, a lot of this, you need a disposable income, because that's not cheap. That Warhammer suit isn't cheap. The suit right here isn't cheap, even though it looks like just a very little bit of materials. It's not cheap.
What is that suit?
This is actually my own rendition, on because my wife wanted to dress up for a Comic-Con, and it is a steampunk armored version of Alice in Wonderland.
Oh, cool.
Really?
Yes. She's got like big combat boots with buckles that go like all the way up to like the kneecap. She has the
That's awesome.
I bought her a pair of like striped freaking leggings or whatever, like little jail cell leggings, and everything that goes on underneath it. It was from the game Alice the Madness Returns, actually.
Is that a American McGee run, or was that?
Yep.
Alice, what is that? Into Madness? Return to Madness?
Alice the Madness Returns.
Yeah, there's
several
of those.
Which is a great game.
Yeah, there's a suit like this, or an outfit, but it was all cloth, and I'm not a big sewer. I sew from time to time. I had to reteach myself from like home ec back in high school. But I was like, she's like, I want this. And I was like, I can make something like that, but it'll be my own version. And this is what it is. I mean, there's literally actual leather. Hold on, let me get my finger here.
Right there.
Really, that's like actual leather.
And this is made for your wife, you said, right?
Right.
Okay.
And there's actual like belt buckles, and there's, leather rivets and all that attached to it. But
she probably appreciated that way better than a
spot
on copy.
Right.
Having your flair in
she loved it. And she went to Comic-Con, and people pointed it out and what she was and how she was dressed, and they loved it. And that's really the reason I do it. But to get back on topic, did I come in late in the game? No.
Is there really an age group?
Slow? There isn't an age group.
See, that's awesome.
Was I slow on actually getting my name out there? Yes. I hate self-promotion.
We don't. We'll promote props all day.
But it's something that needs to be done. And that goes back to the people who try to quit their day jobs and become prop makers. Self-promotion is key.
Well, and that
So-
segues into kind of what I was thinking about with that question. And I'm going to try to handle this with kid gloves the best I can. Just not necessarily within the maker community. This is going to be more focused on the cosplay side. So you have you have cosplayers who became influencers because of their cosplay. You have influencers who get into cosplay for the sake of being an influencer. And I think it's fairly easy to discern the difference between the two. And it's just from, like I said, I'm not in the community. I'm not at the Comic Cons. I'm not on the forums. I'm not involved with this. This is outsider looking in. And I related a lot back to content creation because that's kind of what I'm more familiar with. You see, it seems like that shift is going back to the cosplayer as an influencer instead of an influencer as a cosplayer. You see what I'm saying?
Would you
there?
say that's accurate? Like, can you explain that a little more?
Yeah,
I'm following you, but I don't know if I'm
kind of following you, but I'm not following you.
I know what you're, I know where you're trying to get at. So the reason Kyle's saying it how he is, we don't want to alienate anyone who's listening to this who may be in this category, like any of the stuff we do. We're not here to judge you.
No, absolutely not.
Cosplay is art. Art is subjective.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
To every person. So again, we're trying to, Kyle is doing a great job of handling it this way, but we don't want to alienate anyone. And we're not bagging on anyone who does it this way. We're just trying to get more clarification. Again, we don't know shit. Like about women, we don't know shit.
Not a thing. Not a thing. I still don't know where my kids came from.
Mine was a stork.
Or how they got there. So, but
I've seen Disney Junior.
Yeah, so like you'll see outfits and things that you can tell are purely for the attention, or they appear to be purely for the attention. They're not, even though, okay, so like your Alice back there is a variation on Alice.
Yeah.
Right. But there could also be Alice in the most it'd just be in the spirit of Alice, because the outfit may be extremely minimal and the only identifying factor is the color scheme that would match with that particular character. And that seemed like it was a big thing for a long time. That was big, and it seems like it's shifting back to, I guess you could say, more traditional cosplay. Like people are really embracing more of like what you're doing back there. And
okay, so, I get what you're getting at.
Yeah.
Boy, I have my own opinions on it, and the most I can say is if anybody wants to talk about that, to reach out to me privately, and I'll discuss it. But yes, there, and it still happens. Like, you
and I'm not saying one side or the other is wrong. I'm just saying it seems like there's a shift more back to the traditional.
Yeah, I mean, cosplay. Some people who quote unquote call themselves professional cosplayers, and they actually do, they are listed as a professional cosplayer, don't exactly wear very much in the sense of cosplay. It's very minimal. The only really, like you said, dignifying marks are the paint or colors, and maybe they'll wear a hat.
So there's a difference in the Jay Maynards versus the Jessica Naggaris. Jay Maynard, if you guys don't know, was Tron guy. He's the guy who dressed up in the unitard with the Tron symbols, and he did it out of pure love for Tron. out of, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong, I think it was a Comic-Con. Or it was internet. It was through the internet, I think, one of the earlier viral videos. But Jessica Nigiri is most famously known for, what was it, Lollipop Chainsaw? She was the model on that, and she's known for more of the risque costumes
Right.
on cosplay. It's so like Kyle's shirt right now is, what's that character called?
That
It's
is,
just I know it's the Fallout character.
yeah, it's the bobblehead guy from Fallout.
Pip Boy.
Pip Boy. Okay, thank you.
He could be the Pip.
Pops.
He could be the Pip Boy. Yeah.
Pip Boy wears like a jumpsuit, basically. Am I right?
Yeah, it's
Like,
overalls.
that's overalls.
Hmm. Or coveralls or whatever. you
Coveralls.
call it, Yeah.
Yeah. Overall,
There
he'd be
would
more
be-
hillbilly.
Not overalls. Yeah.
There would be some people who would wear.
What in tarnation happened to my?
What is it? There'd be some people who would wear, and we're not saying just girls. I've seen guys wear different variations on the suit, at least the colors, and you can tell what they're going for.
Are you talking about the pictures
But
I
then
sent
I'd
you?
s-
Because that was just supposed to be between me and you.
Oh, that's
Like,
it. Oh, darling. They're good. I filed those away. But like I see like a guy with this 6-pack wearing just basically nothing except something covering his junk, and he was supposed to be Pip Boy.
Right.
And
And it goes to like, it's just that goes back to the influencing thing that
Mhm.
Casey was talking about.
right.
Some people influence cosplay, some people cosplay to influence. So
There's two sides to every coin.
yeah,
there
and
is.
that's
And
what I
it-
wanted
it-
to kind of just go down, because it
Right.
does feel like it's shifting to the traditional side, like the maybe the traditionalists were overshadowed by this other style, and it seems like
Yeah.
there's more there's more
Well, and-
appreciation coming for the traditionalist cosplay than the other now.
Well, and let's call it how it is. Sex sells.
It does.
It does.
Sex
It
sells.
really does. And
You find that on Twitch too.
Yeah.
You
You
know?
find that in
Yeah.
any
Anywhere you do stuff.
content creation, any type of influencer
Mhm.
based whatever. I mean, it's going to be there. And I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. You play your strengths,
Right.
and I mean, it just kind of is what it is. If you can go out and make your money a certain way,
Mhm.
I'm not going to
Mm-mm.
down you at all. But it
And-
does seem like there's the shift away from that a little bit. I mean, you're seeing it in the Twitch community, I think.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, and like if you get into the maker community or the prop building or whatever you want to call it, I personally believe that there's never a bad cosplay. There's never a bad prop because somebody tried, somebody put their heart and soul into something, and that's what it is.
Yeah.
And who are you to shit on it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Somebody could come and pick apart my suit. Actually, I pick my suit apart all the time because there are spots where you do see the seams where I glue things together, and it's and I could be like, I don't like it because I can see the seams. I
But
don't like
from-
it because that one cut is slightly off. It's lopsided.
Well, from Kyle and I's angle, it's fucking amazing.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
when Kyle first introduced me to props a couple months ago, which Kyle still cracks up. He goes, "You guys hit it off. You guys just talked about it." I'm like, "Well, yeah, he's a lot more calm than I am, because I'm a spaz, but
A little bit.
we have a lot of we have a lot of similar interests, and I immediately loved what I saw there, because that's something I can't do. I don't have the patience to do that, and I think it's amazing.
Mhm.
And I just have a lot of appreciation for it. And he
Appreciate
may
that.
pick it apart. Well, I'm not just saying it because you're on our show right now. I can kick you out. I can hit the kick you out button. But I really do. It's to me, it's interesting, and I love it. I love this kind of stuff. And he may pick apart, I see a seam, I see glue, I see some imperfection. From my angle, that is perfection. I think it's amazing.
You're always more critical
mean-
of your own stuff. Like,
Right.
Yeah, every artist is going to be his own worst critic.
And
it happens.
That's what makes you
brings us
good.
back to art is subjective.
Yeah.
Art is subjective. And my personal opinion, like we just talked about, you shouldn't shit on someone else's art.
Never.
They pour their heart and soul into it.
Literally, I'll go to Comic-Cons and yeah, I've seen what people would classify as bad costumes or bad props, bad this, bad that. But people got to realize is they sat in their house or their garage or their workspace or wherever they were, and they used what they had and the knowledge that they had to make something for something that they loved.
So, and again,
my first gun was made out of cardboard and duct tape.
My first Highlander sword, that when we played Highlander in high school, we'd have the swords in our trunks, and this is this is when it was still okay to have this kind of crap in your car. I had a katana, and it was like you said, it was PVC pipe with duct tape for the handle and insulation around it. And my katana would lose to my friend's two-handed bastard sword all the time. Like I would get demolished. And I remember my parents would go, "Why do you have bruises?" I'm like, "I fell down the stairs."
I was playing football like a man.
Football.
Right, Oscar.
Back
But
when it
it's
was okay.
December, Chris. Yeah.
It's December. Well, and it, it was a shitty sword. Like, I thought it looked cool. I had a lot of pride in it because I had black duct tape for the handle.
Right.
And to me, it was gold. So it's one of those, don't shit on other people's stuff. I mean, you can just bag on them in the privacy of your own home. You shouldn't do it anyway. But don't tell it to their face. Don't tell someone what you did is not worthy.
Absolutely.
I would like to see you do
completely
better.
agree with that.
And if you can do better, don't be a dick.
Give them advice. Give them somewhere like, some of the people that like what I do, some of them live close by, and they go, well, I kind of want this and I want that. And I was like, I won't make it for you, but I'll help you.
Yeah. Which is awesome. Now, props, who was that walked by?
That was Mrs. Props.
Oh, I love Mrs. Hi, Mrs.
My biggest supporter.
If you all don't know, she is on all his streams. She does a lot with him, and she also likes a certain restaurant that I also love.
She's on all of our streams. She's a huge
she's on all our streams.
Everything that anybody in the community does.
One of the most supportive wives I've ever seen, or significant others.
Yes, she's my
amazing.
biggest supporter.
Hi, Mrs. We love Mrs.
I love that she's just solely known as Mrs. Like that's just
that's her. That's who she is.
She is.
She's like that. Like everybody who goes over to their friend's house and they call their mom. Hi, mom. Hi, Mrs.
I still got her Twitch mom. I do that too.
Yeah.
She is, isn't she?
Yeah, she's in everybody's streams whenever somebody goes live.
She's awesome. I love her. Again, she has good taste in restaurants too.
Oh my God, I don't know. That's a whole nother sidebar.
You better go take her there. So something interesting that I found, what Props told me when we were going through the initial just brainstorming of this episode. He told me that, and Kyle, I don't know if you were paying attention to this part.
Probably not.
I think the boy came in. The MCU phase 1 is really when cosplaying took off.
Yeah.
Which I did not realize that. I just thought it was just the rise of, more mainstream stuff, but it makes complete sense. Why do you think it happened? Why do you think that happened?
Okay, so for us slightly older folk, I want to, we grew up on this stuff. We grew up on comics. We grew up reading about Iron Man when it was a poorly illustrated person with a bucket on his head, basically, and like just little rectangles for eyes and a mouth. We grew up on this. Star Wars. We grew up on Star Wars. We know the first 3 films. We knew when actually, when the first film came out, there wasn't even a possibility of the next few, because back then movies were just one-offs, you know, and we grew to love it because of what it was. And then now they're putting out all this MCU stuff and all that, and it's because like you said, Guyver, it's everything's becoming more mainstream. And they saw Iron Man, and literally, I cannot tell you the influx of Iron Man builds that littered the frickin' the forums.
So is
all
that what
the-
you saw in
the sites.
2010? Like a lot
Yeah,
of
there was just an influx of Iron Man suits being made. And you go to Comic Cons and you see 20, 30, 40, 50 Iron Men. You know,
Mhm.
it was insane. And as more of the MCU movies came out, people started dressing up like other things from the MC universe. When I built my Warhammer suit, this is actually the second rendition, by the way. The first one was haphazardly constructed and took me like maybe 2 months to put together because I was in a rush and I wanted it before a Comic-Con event convention. I uploaded progress pictures to one of the forums that I was a part of. And somebody messaged, it's nice to see something other than an Iron Man suit.
wow.
So I
So,
think
and
go ahead.
people are going to make what they want to make. I'm not going to dog somebody for making an Iron Man suit. Personally, I would love to build an Iron Man suit and literally have it standing right back there.
Which armor?
Oh,
I'm gonna put you on the spot here because there's a lot of different builds you can do.
So, okay, let's go to the very first one, the Mark One that he built
Mhm.
in the movie in the cave. Iconic as hell because it looked very close to the comics.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And I like that. Now, if I could take that Mark One and alter it to where it was the comics,
Mhm.
I'd build that. And then I'd build maybe like, now me being, you know, the larger than life kind of builds where I'm, you know, need stilts and
Mhm.
such, maybe a Hulkbuster because that'd be fucking epic.
It would.
I was
I'll
thinking
tell
of
you-
you with your big stuff, the Hulkbuster.
Yeah.
The Hulkbuster would be awesome, or the power lifter armor, or I tell you what I would love to see you do because I've seen what else you can build, the accessories with it, the original War Machine armor.
I could,
Because
I was thinking that too.
you know you have all sorts of accessories you can do with that.
Right.
So I feel, excuse me one sec here, guys. Kyle's going to handle the next question.
Okay.
I'll be right
Alright.
back.
And so that kind of leads into what I was talking about earlier when I was talking about getting late in the game. I wasn't necessarily like thinking like age and stuff like that, but the whole MCU thing really is. I mean, it was a
It
catalyst
opened the door.
for so many things, you know, with Comic Cons and cosplay and prop making and introducing people to comics, and you kind of started sending people down this rabbit hole where some people are going to like it just for the movies and they're good with that. But then you're going to
Yeah.
get the people that like it and they're going to go, you know, we talked about this in another episode where, okay, well, now I want to go into the source material. Well, now I see that there's these
Yeah.
conventions going on. I go to the conventions
Mhm.
now. I see like, oh, there's all this other shit that I've never even heard of within Marvel, outside of Marvel, within DC, outside of DC, all these other comics and properties and things that I think it just kind of opened up, you know, helped by making things more mainstream. I don't think their intention was to make it acceptable. Their intention, of course, is to make a buck. But
Yeah.
the great side effect of it was like you get more people interested in things, you get more traction, you get more people maybe inspired to start making stuff. Because I think before this, you know, comics were always going to hang in there. They're always going to be around. They're always going to influence media and things like that to a certain extent. They weren't big. And now you see just more and more content coming out that's outside of the MCU, that's outside of Marvel, that's getting thrown out there on, well, not really the big screen right now, maybe your home screen. Like, you know, I was telling Chris before this started watching The Boys, which made me want to start reading The Boys, which is like, okay, this is my new thing now. I really like this. I never would have came across it without all these, paths crossing. And so I got off on a tangent with that. But the whole thing of, I've just wondered if there was, and I'm sure there probably is, a group of the old school guys and gals have been doing it forever that maybe have a negative opinion on those that are coming in just because it's popular now, or they just decided to start doing it because, okay, well, now it's popular and it's accepted, I want to start doing it now.
I'm sure there is a group out there kind of like that, and everybody's, personally, I believe everybody's entitled to their own opinions.
Yeah.
But as far as like the make community, I mean, I could point people to like Punish Props or Full Pin Props or SKS Props, or these guys have been doing it for a while. There's even a guy, Evil Ted. He was actually in the industry for movies, and now he's showing people these are the tricks of the trade. This is how you do this. This is how you do that. And he, by engaging in the community and helping out people, is publicity in itself. And it makes people come back. Now, okay, I could sit and do videos upon videos and videos of how, like, oh, look at this cool thing I made. Look at this cool thing I made. Or I could turn around, make a few videos, and, how do I say this? Or I could make videos on, I could make a few videos on how to teach people how to do it. And that gives them the ideas to get started. And then if I want, I can be like, okay, here's a basic template for a helmet. And then when I sell that for $5, and because most people will sell their templates for very cheap, because it's just a base template.
Yeah.
You could sell a template for very cheap, but people will still come back because you're giving food for thought. I will sit and watch other prop makers make stuff for days, because everybody's got a different method. Everybody's got a different technique. Somebody might have a better technique for sealing the foam than what I have, or how to cut it differently, or how to cut it easier.
Exactly.
Now, yeah, there's people who, they want to guard their secrets. And Evil Ted Smith, he tells that almost all the time in like a lot of his videos, is I'm showing you secrets that people guarded. Because that's their job. That's how they're employed.
They think that like these things, and we keep rounding back to this, and we've done other episodes too with the launch of the MCU and all that. There's a whole, I'm seeing this whole additional revenue streams that people are finding now from, they're one, maybe they start off as a passion, then they start maybe making a little bit of money selling their props. These movies hit, it gets popular, everybody's wanting to do it, more money selling things on commission. Now people are wanting to learn to do it, more money in videos and instruction and things, showing people how to do it. Like there's this like trickle effect just from that. That's you think of maybe the boon to the industry of being just, okay, well, everybody's wanting to do this now, and not everybody has the skill set to be able to make something. But there are, people have money sometimes, and they'll commission these things out. But then there's also that market of teaching people how to do it. Which is also able to be monetized.
I mean, okay, so yeah, there's the method, like you can make money teaching people, but you're giving them the ability to do it.
Right.
So hopefully it's just like a one-time thing that you're, having to teach somebody. People that come to me for commissions, and then I hit them with the price, and people sometimes don't realize the price to make things. But before they leave, and I've had a lot of people get turned down because once they hear the price, they're like, I didn't think it cost that much since it's just foam. Foam isn't cheap. foam is not cheap for a like 2 foot by 4 foot piece of foam. It's like $25, and it's not going to make you a whole lot, you know. And then you got to charge electricity and all the other materials because I'm using my electricity. I'm sorry, I'm I'm going to charge somebody for electricity because I'm using it.
Right.
And then it's time, paint, skill. Now, but before somebody leaves on like they get turned away, I'd be like, look, don't fear about the price. You can do this yourself. It doesn't take very much to get into. And then I'll give them a list of people, like videos to go and watch. I was like, go check out this forum, go watch these people. It's very simple. Now, yeah, okay, with the MCU going, and then people are like, oh, I can make that and I can make money from it. Yeah, the market gets saturated. But once people realize that some people's skills aren't up to par, the market fixes itself.
Right.
Unfortunately. So
I'm back. All sorry about that.
You're good.
We're good. I will tell you guys, I had my second COVID shot, and I'm feeling wonderful right now. Not sick and achy at all, and terrible. So
You look 100.
if I get up,
right
this is
now.
fine. Yeah,
Percent.
I
not
always
age.
look like this. You suck.
You look on your A game right now.
Oh yeah, I look great. What part are we on right now?
we were talking about the market and stuff.
Okay, the market.
I mean, and I could go back to the point of like people just starting out in cosplay and everything, like I was telling you. And I actually have my very first helmet that I ever made still here. And it's made out of cardboard and automobile bondo.
I think I've seen that one.
Still,
and hot glue.
yeah,
Hot
that's the one you
glue.
showed me, I think.
Hot glue
Wait, he's
content.
gonna bust it out. Hot glue, which is still awesome because
really like
for
that
those
one.
of you who aren't looking, again, this will be posted. It is a
Yep.
Boba Fett helmet.
Yeah, it's a Mandalorian helmet. Yeah.
Is it fat specifically, or is it just a Mandalorian?
It's not fat.
It's,
Okay,
it's
fat.
red on
Not
the.
fat.
It is not fat.
Not fat.
This is
not fat.
green, right in the middle, right? Is it? Now I'm questioning myself. Shit.
I think it is.
His is yellow and green, I believe, if I remember correctly. But yeah, this is made out of cardboard, automobile bondo, and a grinding shield.
Which is awesome, still looking.
And I didn't know how to pad the inside because I didn't want to get stabbed in the head by like hot glue and everything. So I went to Michael's and bought the little package of foamies, the little, freaking, what is it? 8 by 12 or whatever, basically pieces of paper of foam. And I cut it up and I put it in there. And it doesn't fit my head. It squishes my nose, but it's my first helmet that I ever finished.
So it's very dear to you then.
Absolutely. And I keep it to know where I came from, where I started at. Which
is awesome. It's, again, like Props was saying earlier, your failures, if you don't consider it a failure, it's not a failure. If you consider it that not your best work and you learn from it, to me, that's not a failure. That is something you learn from.
So my generalization of fail when in the prop making industry, it actually goes back to I watch a lot of Adam Savage stuff. Like the guy builds great. And his acronym on fail is first attempt in learning. You don't fail at something, you find a way not to do it.
I love that.
We're gonna have to have Props back for a Mythbusters episode. I can already tell. Friggin' love Mythbusters.
Something that I want to talk about here is we tiptoed around the cosplayers. I want to talk about some well-known cosplayers because there might be some people that our listeners know. There might be some people that we know. And this is something Kyle, Props, and I have touched on before when we were brainstorming about this episode. The majority of what you're going to find for the famous cosplayers, quote unquote, air quotes, it's going to be female.
Yes.
Why is that? And we don't have to tiptoe around this part because we've already tiptoed around everything else. But
Okay.
why is it?
I can sum this up in one bit. Majority of nerds are guys.
Mhm.
And what do guys like to look at?
Boobs.
Schematics.
Schematics.
Schematic-
Football. Padding.
Football, It's
and it goes back to what you said earlier, sex sells.
it really does. And like, so if you do a wiki lookup of famous cosplayers, there's 2 guys on this list. One is Jay
is one-
Maynard,
Is the other Carlos?
Gypsy Crusader,
Oh.
which I don't know who he is. He's a journalist. Oh, he's a former Muay Thai fighter too.
Oh, I thought it was
Oh,
Carlos
and a convicted
Blanchard.
and a convicted felon. That's apparently his mugshot that they're using. Well, that's cool. Instead of a cosplay picture. I'll tell you one thing that I have seen a lot more of lately in the cosplay community is you've got a lot more celebrities that do it now too, which is cool because they're letting their inner nerd shine. The ones that are doing it for fun. But then you have a lot more porn stars doing cosplay lately too. The reason I say this is because I did another search, not for porn. That's another search. But just because I saw, like, if you look on here, like Tanya Tate, it says, if you just scroll through the list, and pornographic actors, if you do pornographic actors and actresses who do cosplay, it's more than you would think.
No, let me pull up my incognito tab and we'll get.
Well, it just goes to show you, it doesn't matter who you are. If you enjoy doing it, do it.
Absolutely.
Are you talking about the
I
cosplay or
completely
the other
agree.
stuff?
Well, either. Either. I mean, I don't think people would pay to see the 3 of us do anything, but just like I don't think people would pay to see me as like, hey, look, it's a flabby, overweight, middle-aged Hulk who's short and oh, look, he's
Doesn't
not all the way
matter, dude.
green. No, it doesn't
Doesn't-
matter. But
Doesn't matter.
what I'm saying,
You want to dress up like the Hulk?
I wouldn't watch that way.
Dress up as the Hulk.
I see who you're talking about, Carlos, now with one of his. What is this? It's like I don't know.
He's mostly known for his medieval Batman.
Yes, and that is badass looking.
Is this the list of cosplayers that I'm looking at, or is it a different list?
No, you're
I
looking at
think
the porn stars. I'm looking at the other ones.
I mean, you get into like famous cosplayers. I mean, you got, Vamp, Yaya Han, mentioned earlier, Jessica Negri, Carlos Blanchard, which is great. He does some pretty damn good work. I mean, the list is mostly female. It is unfortunate to see that, but I mean, that's the profession they chose, and it is what it is. Most of the guys, they want to, spend a year in their house making a fully armored suit and dress that way. It is what it is.
So here's something interesting I found out while going through this. If you look up, let me find her again. Liz Katz, another famous cosplayer.
Liz Katz. That sounds really
I guarantee
familiar.
Yeah, I guarantee you would know her if you saw her. Just look her up real quick. She won Best Cosplay at WonderCon in 2012. In 2014, she began playing video games live on Twitch and then posting gaming videos on her YouTube channel. This is what I found was really interesting. In 2013, Katz undertook a crowdfunding effort to fund a cosplaying outfit, raising $4,690, equivalent to $5,148 in 2019. Who cares? Starting from her original goal of $650. Apparently, this prompted a debate in some circles on the use of crowdfunding for cosplay, which I find is very interesting. And this is what I wanted to bring up with you, Props. Is that a thing in the cosplay circle, in the community? Like, versus doing it yourself or having other people?
Crowd-funded cosplays? Like having people give you money so you can make something? It can be frowned upon. I've seen debates go back and forth on it. a lot of people believe, like the people who disagree with it, they believe that it should be something you did on the financial backing that you have, that, like me, work a job, have a disposable income.
Mhm.
Don't expect people to just give you money to get it done.
So so it sounds like is this a
It's
hotly debated item in the community?
it is, yes. It can be it can strike some debates. You look at some of the professional cosplayers, they cosplay, but they have a team that makes the costumes for them. It happens.
Just
I
depends on
mean,
which train of it just depends on what
right.
school of thought you're in.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. I know I personally have a friend back in California who's been trying his dangest to make it into the professional cosplay scene. And when I say he is trying to make it into the professional cosplay scene, he will cosplay anything. He will cosplay a guy, he will cosplay a girl. He'll do gender bends on cosplays, but he makes them all himself in what I believe is a studio apartment.
Wow.
When yeah, like Bender when he was the gender bender.
Mhm.
He cosplayed. Futurama reference for some of you. That's actually a great transition. That's what's cool about cosplay. You don't have to cosplay as a guy. You don't have to cosplay as a girl. You don't have to cosplay as one of the known sexes on Earth. You don't have to cosplay as a
No.
human.
No,
I've seen cosplays of dogs. Dinobot.
Yeah, I've seen dogs. I've seen people cosplay as R2D2.
Which is awesome.
I've seen the alien from AVP.
Really?
Yes.
That's
Epic, by the way.
awesome.
So yeah, I mean, cosplay is what you make it. If you see something that's awesome and you want to dress up like it, go for it.
And that's what's cool. It's, again, you don't have to be a guy, you don't have to be a girl, you don't have to, it doesn't have to be a sexy cosplay, it doesn't have to be a well-known cosplay. Take for example, one of my favorite all-time cosplayers was World of Warcraft guy. He role played as the dude in the basement with the computer desk. He did it at BlizzCon, and kind of sat there. He had the wrist wrap, and he was just sitting there, just clicking his mouse. R.I.P. He died last year of COVID.
Damn.
Yeah, which sucks because great guy, and that's what he was known as. But that was a great cosplay because immediately it was recognizable. And it wasn't a property of World of Warcraft either. He did it at BlizzCon because it was relevant to Warcraft. It's that kind of shit that's just amazing to me that someone would think, I'm going to do that. Or like Tron guy.
Yeah.
I mean, what are some examples you guys can think of like that?
Actually, those are great examples.
Yeah.
Of people cosplaying. It can be something just so simple to cosplay. I mean, I have seen cosplays at Comic-Cons that I have no idea where they came from, because I mean, the community is just so vast. There's really no border on it.
So is it okay? Oh, go ahead, Kyle. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, is there an etiquette there? If you see something that you think is just, you have no idea what it is, but it looks amazing, just to be like, I don't know what this is, but this looks freaking awesome. What is this?
Can you ask them without them? Yeah, can you ask them? Or is it like offensive if you ask someone?
It personally, my personal belief on that is there's no way to be offensive, because when you go to a comic convention, you're literally in a building of thousands of people.
Like-minded people.
But like I said, there is no border on cosplay. Someone could be cosplaying from an anime that you've never heard of, and 9 times out of 10, a lot of people will like that dress up like I do, or anyone else that goes to Comic Cons, they spend time, and they want their things to be noticed. Obviously, I'm going to get noticed a little bit more when I'm standing like a foot or two above everybody else.
Mhm.
I bring my wife and my son along to every convention, and sometimes
Which
they
is
dress up,
awesome.
sometimes they don't. My kid loves it, by the way. And I've seen my son literally walk up to somebody and be like, who are you? And they'll take the time to separate themselves from the all the pictures that they're doing, and they'll take the time to explain who they are. I've seen my wife do it too. She's like, I don't recognize this, but it looks great. And a lot of people, they'll talk about what they're wearing.
And I don't want to out, too much about your personal family, because it is the internet. But what age group would your son be in? Because I just want listeners to say, okay, there's it's okay if someone like
I
this.
started bringing him to Comic Cons when he was in the first grade.
Awesome. So 5 or 6-ish, give or take.
Yep. And like I said, I've seen people at Comic Cons with infants.
Kyle, 12, 13.
But anytime I bring my son and my wife to a convention, my son has the time of his life. I showed him Star Wars when he was just a kid, like when he was, I think in kindergarten is when I first introduced him to Star Wars, and episode 4 played on my TV for a week straight.
That's how you know you're doing it right.
Well, and I can't wait for right now. My 9-year-old, she's going to be 10 this year. Anything I show her or tell her, she's at that age, it's not cool. She'll literally look at it for a couple seconds. And it's automatically not cool. Like today I showed her what is it, Maury Callaghy or Callaghy Maury. She's a a CG anime girl that raps, except can flow amazing. Kyle, you'd like this too. Remind me, I'll send it to you later. But she literally looked at it for 3 seconds, frowned, and put my phone down. So I've got hope for my 4-year-old, because she likes a lot of the same stuff. So I can't wait to do that kind of stuff, like Star Wars, stuff like that. Do we have any Star Wars fans that are listening to this?
I hope so.
I don't think we do. Well,
Possibly?
I doubt it. I don't think there's anyone who's asked us to be on the Star Wars episode.
Yeah, I'll be on it.
Oh, yes.
I'll get a DM later. The hell you will.
So I know that was a question that just hit me also. I'm glad Kyle asked it, because it's like, some people don't give a shit if they're offensive.
No, I mean, a lot
Which
of,
is
like
fine.
I said,
We just don't want to offend anyone.
Some people do get a little weirded out by it.
Can you usually tell those people right off the bat, or when they ask?
Yeah, they're the females wearing almost nothing because they think you're hitting on them.
Which is, to be fair, if you're wearing next to nothing and I don't immediately recognize you, let's say as Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah, and all you're wearing is like blue headphones.
Yes, or Rush the dog from Mega Man, and you're wearing blue or red headphones. That's why I'm going to ask, because the majority of us in the community, the nerding community, aren't going to go up and just automatically hit on you. I mean, you're going to have your creepos anywhere you are, but we genuinely want to know.
I've been stalked at Comic Cons before. It's a little unnerving, but it happens.
Really?
When people get very in depth on like some of the builds, and people follow you around and they ask questions and questions and questions, and you don't want to be rude and you don't want to get mean to the person. But when I wear that, because it's happened when I was wearing that, like I said, I bring my wife and my son, but I also bring about 2 people for handlers, because I'm not really able to see out of those eyes up there. And then I bring another 2 for security purposes.
Which is awesome. Like,
to help.
I honestly wouldn't have thought that. Would you, Kyle?
No.
Not
'Cause
something I would have
like I
thought
said,
of at
I'm
all.
7'2" and practically blind wearing that. So I need people to clear my path when I'm walking, and 2 people on my side in case like I have to like I can't take my helmet off wearing that. The like the shoulders and everything, they move, but they don't move that much. So I need people
Okay.
to take my helmet off. I need people to give me water.
Here's a serious question. How do you pee at Comic-Con? Do you have a handler? Do you have to take it all off?
You don't.
You don't.
You no, so
There's a bag that just
to put
there's
this on,
a
it takes
bag just
me
flows out.
roughly about 30 minutes roughly to put this whole suit on.
Do you need help doing that?
I do. And I need elevated help by like so I'll put it on in the parking lot. Because obviously I'm not driving in it.
Right.
You should though.
That would be awesome.
I can't.
Ace Ventura style.
But yeah, it takes me close to 30 minutes to put it on. And I have to get off, like I have to stand on top of my tailgate to put the legs on, then the boots on. And the whole time I got people on my sides where I'm like holding their shoulders and they're helping me get things set up. And
It's an event. Before
it's an
the
event. But it is an event because it brings onlookers when you start standing a foot 2 feet taller than people.
So, which is, before any of you get mad, you had the same question, so don't get mad at me.
But yeah,
We all thought
so 30 minutes to put it on. In the convention, it takes a little less time to get off when you have to use the bathroom.
Slightly more
But
motivated,
yes,
possibly.
it does have to be removed to utilize the facilities. And like it's foam, so it doesn't breathe. So I'm sweating the whole time I'm in it, and I'll wear it
Which is nuts.
for 6-7 hours.
And when you got small Asian bladder like me, that's not going to happen.
Oh, and there's a lot of hydrating going on because you're sweating.
So do they give you water through a straw, or is it?
So typically I'll lean over, somebody will remove the helmet and they'll hold up a freaking water jug and I'll open my mouth and they squeeze, just like at sporting events. You'll see somebody holding water and just squirting.
Techno Viking style. You're just going and
Who would have thought? Like, seriously, who would have thought? Like, I was the mascot at our college the first year it was there, and I had to wear that thing. The head weighed 50 pounds, and it was a harness. And I probably lost, this was back when I was, skinny and in shape. I probably lost 25 pounds during basketball season. It was so hot in there. I can only imagine. I used to have 2 people help me get just that one piece off. I can't even imagine how much help you need with all that.
That helmet alone doesn't weigh much. The 2 heaviest helmets I have is the first one, my Mandalorian helmet.
How much is that? Or how much does it weigh?
This one's about 2 pounds, just slightly lighter than a motorcycle helmet, like a full face motorcycle helmet.
That doesn't sound like much, but wear it for long periods of time.
And the other one.
Oh, look at that.
The Scout helmet from Halo 3, I believe it is. And this one's actually just a little bit lighter than the other one. The foam, this one is the other fiberglass, by the way.
Look at that. That's beautiful. We kind of touched on this, and this is really Kyle's question, but I'm bringing us back to here. It's body painting for cosplay.
Oh yeah,
Kyle,
body painting.
Yeah. Let Kyle. Why don't you talk about this part, and why don't you go on this?
So, as we were talking about, the famous cosplayers and all that, as I'm going through the list while we're discussing, looking, I'm seeing a lot of body paint, a lot of body painting going on, and some of it is just freaking amazing looking, amazing.
It
looking.
really is.
Like
Mm-hmm.
there's just I can't. There was a show that was out a while back that was all about body painting, and I watched it quite a bit because it was just it was amazing. How is that in your opinion? How is that received by the community?
Body painting?
Mm-hmm. Body painting. Okay, let's specify this. Body painting as cosplay.
Yeah.
Specifically, as related to
so-
this subject.
Now there's like, I guess, two avenues we can go down this. Is somebody who will like wear next to nothing and have their body completely painted. You're on both sides of the track on that one. There's some people who love it, some people who hate it. But what I will say, I don't personally perceive it as cosplay in that aspect, but I do see it as art. It is, I've seen people do it and it is beautifully done.
Art is subjective again.
Mm-hmm. Now, if you're wearing maybe something like this, but I mean, with this, I mean, there's undershirts and everything that go with it. But if you're just wearing this with, skin showing all around and you have body paint underneath of that, like for scars or, maybe some people, they do like that extended neck or where the mouth is down here on their neck.
Mhm.
Highly accepted.
So I will tell you, like, if you look on Twitch, like when all three of us were streamers, Props and Kyle way more than me. I'm just getting into it. I've got, my small little following, which is basically my wife when I make her watch me. These guys are great because the whole community is awesome. But when you go on to, let's say, the Twitch app,
Mm-hmm.
and then it goes under the recommended because of how many followers are there, one of the first things you're going to see is girls who are body painting as cosplay characters, cosplaying, doing the body, which, don't get me wrong, like the ones who are doing this are freaking amazing. Like it looks like a real like X-Men latex costume.
Yes.
The spandex costume. Like it's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it's, that's why I wanted to find out what the community thinks of, because
Well, for those mostly I believe are female. I've seen
I've
a
only
few
seen
of them.
females. Yeah.
Yeah, I've only seen only females that do it. And the ones that do it have such an art and such a craft.
Mhm.
And it is amazing to see them do it. But you end up with both types of people in that chat. You end up the ones who are complimenting and like, asking questions, and then you end up with the ones like, "Hey, BB,"
or nice milkers.
Mm-hmm. And it's unfortunate because they're talented.
Mm-hmm. They're extremely talented.
Mm-hmm.
They really are. Like, I'm not telling you guys to go get off on this, but go seriously check it out because it takes them hours to EGTN recommends getting off at least once on it's just go watch like once. Like it takes them hours and it's so delicate how they do it. Like I couldn't do it. I can't draw a straight line.
No, it's some of the
then
people
again, why
that
would you
do it
want
are
to?
just amazing at it. And
But, you're talking about the chat. I just pulled one. I just searched real quick while we were sitting here talking, pulled one up, and within 30 seconds of me pulling it up and looking at the chat, there was already, things.
mm-hmm.
He's referencing pulling up the chat, by the way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you see the chat,
it
just
happens.
Like, bam, instantly.
So it really is unfortunate. And when we get into, we're going to do an episode on girls in gaming because that's something I am extremely passionate about, especially since I became a girl dad. I've got 2 girls as my own. I want them to know, you can do anything you want. If you want to be a gamer, be a gamer. Go based off of your skill, like anything else. Go based off of your hard work and dedication. One of the things that irks me the most is girls who have to show cleavage or wear next to nothing for people to watch them and take them seriously. And I hope that's not like this but I think it is for a lot of
Objectification. Yeah.
thank you, objectification, just for the people to take them seriously. And I hate that. I really do. And like,
Mhm.
I know, a lot of you probably thinking, oh yeah, right, you're a dude, you like seeing boobs. I do like seeing boobs. I love boobs. Don't get me wrong. But at the same time, I hate that this is what it takes for a girl to get there, because I'm thinking, hopefully this won't be one of my daughters at some point in time.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that in another episode.
Mhm.
I said I'm very, very passionate about women in gaming. So
Heck,
we'll talk
I
about
got
that.
my wife gaming just recently, and she's loving every minute of it.
What's she playing?
Grand Theft Auto roleplay.
See, my wife plays Stardew Valley and Animal Crossing. That's her thing. She loves Animal Crossing.
She's got a couple other games on her PC that
Does she?
she tried the Cyberpunk. She couldn't get into that. But-
Cyberpunk's kind of hard too.
Yeah, she's got a motion sickness issue.
Mm.
So when you
I
play
see
the
that.
the first person type games,
Mhm.
that gets to her.
Yep.
It's very disorientated from that.
So she doesn't want to do VR anytime soon.
Mm,
Or damn Phasmo in VR.
yeah, that was amazing, by the way.
That air is gonna be sorry it ever got near me.
You showed
Um,
that to the talk or what is that? What you were saying? Yeah. No.
That was scary. But yeah, again, we wanted to touch on the body painting, on what the issue is on that. I mean, that could be a whole, literally a whole episode by itself.
It is, and it can go both ways. Like I said, I'm not going to perceive somebody who shows up at a convention, basically wearing pasties and some underwear and their whole body's body painted. It's going to be cool. I'm going to like the art
Mhm.
that and the time and effort that they put behind it, but I'm not going to perceive it as cosplay. And
That's the thing.
other people might,
Because it's a Comic-Con inside a cosplay convention, and so you have
Mm-mm.
right.
all these different representations of it. I was kind of curious how
Mhm.
the community took it.
Yeah.
Right. So with that, we have talked about a lot. Like I said, I don't want to get too in depth into any one subject. I wanted to do a high overview, and we did dig down into some of this, but again, we could have a whole episode on anything that we talked about.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I plan on actually getting more into the props and cosplay, what it takes to do, like our next, not the immediate next episode, but one of the episodes down the line I want to do with props is step by step how you do it, because I don't know what the hell you do.
It's like I said, it can be a rabbit hole effect that you get into, but getting started doesn't take much. It's just literally you take the time and you put in the research and you know what you want to build. And even though it doesn't come out the way you pictured it in your head, it's something.
Which is cool.
I mean, I've got here helmet. I literally built this helmet completely off of concept art because the game wasn't even released yet, and it was Destiny. This is the hunter helm from Destiny.
Oh, that's awesome.
Now, is it accurate compared to what they have out now? No,
It's still cool.
but
Mm.
it was built out of concept. I mean, I got metal caging here. That's actual metal.
Because to me, it looks like a combo of like the Ant-Man helmet and the what is it, the big boy from Fallout?
It looks like one of the Rangers.
Yeah.
From Fallout
Yeah.
actually have.
Oh yeah. And which is awesome. I still love it,
Yeah.
but especially it's amazing that you did all that when the game hadn't even been out yet.
I made the helmet based on one picture because that was all they had released was one.
That concept art.
One concept art.
Isn't that nuts?
And then
So-
you got people who don't want to do anything. Like they don't want to do the traditional whatever it is, and maybe they want to go to like the Wasteland convention. There's really only like maybe 1 or 2 movies that you can get ideas from for that, and most of them being a Mad Max movie.
I could see that.
But I wanted an apocalyptic version of a dirt bike helmet. So I made my own idea. I was like,
Okay, that's cool.
Mhm.
That's
and
really
it's
cool.
kind of got the, I took some Scorpion from Mortal Kombat effect on there.
I could see that. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's cool. That's awesome.
But yeah,
So, Kyle, is there anything other questions that you have? Like I said, again, everyone, this is a high overview with some rabbit holes like we normally do.
I think we hit a
Is
lot.
there anything else you want to know on this? Because we've hit a
No.
lot.
I think we hit everything that I had off the list, and then all the new ones that popped up. So
Right, me too. Props, is there anything that you want to, before we get into our nerd drum, anything that you want to leave people with? Like a last thought, or just
there's a few last thoughts. One, if you want to get into it, there's a great community out there. There's tons of people to go and watch, tons of helpful videos. People are always willing to help other people. It is a beautiful community. If you want to get into it just to make money, I mean, I hope you get successful. Don't piss off the mouse.
Can you explain that? I know what that means. Kyle knows what that means, but there are some people who don't know what that means.
So the mouse is Disney, Walt Disney. They want to keep their money.
They don't like people doing that.
They don't like people making their stuff and selling it. I have seen people make, even up to recent, the Mandalorian helmet. I've seen people make stuff from that and sell it, and the very next day they go to their mailbox and they have a cease and desist letter.
Do they care if you're just doing it as a cosplay and not selling it?
In that aspect, go for it. If you're doing it just to cosplay the character because you love the character and you're not selling it, go for it.
Which
but
is cool.
no
That's
way, shape,
what I
or
like to
money,
hear.
or no way, shape, or form, do not try to make money on it.
No, I think you're exactly right. No way, shape, or money.
Yeah.
I think
don't
that's exactly
don't make money on it. Even if you're selling photocopy prints of you wearing it.
Goofy will come up and do things to you.
I've even seen people try to. I've seen people try to dodge this system by like when Episode 7 for Star Wars came out. A lot of people made Rey's blaster. I have one here myself. I don't know where it's at, but I have one. People try to relabel it as laser blaster.
But it's specifically Rey's blaster.
It is specifically the blaster Han Solo gave to Rey, which is, I think, is amazing, by the way. That her name was Rey and they gave her a blaster.
A ray gun, a pew pew.
Rey blaster.
Rey's blaster.
Yes.
But I hope that if you do want to get into it, that you guys make something amazing, and it's fun to do it. Go to conventions, meet other people. It's great. Like I said, I do most of mine as a hobby, but if you want to, push it for a profession, go for it.
We do have in our Discord channel. If you guys aren't in our Discord channel, we really, really encourage you to come in there, because you can ask all our guests who have been on the show are in the Discord. You can ask them anything. They're not going to get offended. If you want to know more, ask. We have a cosplay channel on there. We also have a prop making channel. Kyle, don't we, or is it the same one?
There's, I think they're separate.
Separate. Okay.
They are.
But if you have something, ask Props. He's in there. It's Blasted Props. Yep. Ask him. He'll be more than happy to answer. I'm answering for him right now, telling him that I'm telling him he's going to be happy.
Tag me, at me, whatever you want to do. And if I can't answer the question, I'll try to point you in the direction of somebody who can.
So we will also once this episode airs, posts, we will have props take pictures, good pictures of the stuff that he's shown. So those of you who aren't watching the YouTube video can see exactly what we're referencing during all this point in time. And
Yeah.
props will label it too. Because
Hell yeah.
Kyle and I will just go, that's a helmet.
That's a sweet ass helmet.
I mean, I
And
got, you know, I got a
Sweet
red
ass
hood helmet. I got freaking couple
show the red
different
hood. Show the red hood.
Well,
Red Hood is one of my favorite characters. Look at that. That is
Nice.
sweet. If you guys don't know who Red Hood is, look it up. It
This
deals-
guy actually broke because I was in the process of making him when I moved from California. And if you look close across the bridge of the nose, you can see where it fractured.
You know what? That kind of reminds me of one of the issues of the comics, though.
But it's I reassembled it with Gorilla Glue.
It's just not in your hair.
I was thinking, oh, you beat me to it. Just don't
the
put it in your
setup.
hair.
Yeah, we highly encourage you guys, ask us questions. We love for the Discord to be active. Like, we want the Discord to be a little bit more active. So, you know,
Yeah,
ask us,
and,
like,
and send me money so I can get more mannequins and display more. No.
and send props money. We'll set up a Discord link.
They'll go fund me.
Well, with that, guys, now it actually comes to one of my favorite parts of the show. I mean, the whole show is just my favorite part, but I love this part. Because now is the time on the show we call Nerddrome. 2 nerds enter, 1 nerd leaves.
Actually, we're going to do 3 nerds entering tonight. 1 nerd will leave, and then another nerd will leave, and then another nerd will leave, and 2 of them will be sad because they lost. So, what we're doing here, guys, is we're taking characters from nerd culture, pop culture, all from that, and we have a randomized list where we'll each be randomly assigned one of these characters. We're going to have a random assignment of an activity and a random assignment of a location, and basically we're going to do the old who would kick whose ass debate. But instead of just fighting or whatever, we're going to have these random activities. Usually pretty interesting, and so we're going to see. We don't know who we're going to get, and we don't know what we're going to be doing, and we're not going to know where we're going to be doing it. And you guys will get to vote on who you think was the big winner. And to do so, you will need to join the Discord. Links are in the bio below in the episode description. So click on that, join the Discord, accept the terms, and become a part of the community and participate.
So with that, I would like to note that I have a losing history of this challenge, and that's actually a really cool thing and a good thing. Why is that a good thing? Because like Kyle was saying, everything's randomized, so it doesn't matter if you have Superman. If the competition is a competitive hugging, he might lose to Winnie the Pooh, who's softer and more cuddly. Superman might squeeze him to death. It doesn't matter. Location matters a lot in this too. The earlier episodes, Kyle and I weren't utilizing the locations like we should have been.
We're getting better.
We're getting a lot better. It's new to us too, but
There's a lot to take in with this, but I mean it's fun.
And we're on the spot.
It's probably really fun for you guys if we get somebody that we really don't know much about or anything about at all. I think that's happened once or twice.
I think I was gonna say there's a few names on this wheel I'm seeing, and
Well, that's the best part.
Really get to test your powers of bullshittery. And
did we ever close the last one?
I don't think we did. I think it's still up. I need to do that. And
okay, here's the thing. So we only close it when we do another Nerky. Or not a Nerddrome. So you have until we do the next one. So
yeah, we're good. We haven't done one in a bit. So
with that, can you guys see my screen?
We can. Or I can.
Okay. With that, since Props is the guest, he will get first spin.
We need a noise for that. I could probably add something in later.
Hermes from Futurama.
Nice.
Hermes, what is he? Grade 7. bureaucrat.
He's like a grade 40 something, isn't he?
Oh, is he? I think it's like I can't remember. It's been a while since I watched Futurama. I need to rewatch it. It's a great show. But he's also a limbo champion.
He's a workaholic too.
He is a workout. Props. Are you familiar with Hermes?
I am.
He's a grade
Okay,
30.
so
He's
that's
a
a
grade
different figure.
34 bureaucrat.
That's what it is. Okay.
Yeah.
Way more than what I said.
Yeah.
Kyle, you or me?
36.
I'll go
Your
last.
pick.
I'll go
I
last.
Googled
Okay.
it.
I'll go second.
I did. I just Googled it too. I know who's on up there.
Bobby Hill. I get Bobby Hill again. Damn it. Well, you know what? This could be okay.
It'd be
It goes by
fine.
location and activity.
I just said
Yeah,
damn it
that's
because I
true.
know Bobby. I could have.
If it's damn, what was it, Bobby, that I lost with the apocalypse, wasn't it?
I think it was it Baking a Cake? No, that was Hank. You had Hank on Baking a Cake.
I had Hank on baking a cake.
Yeah.
I think Bobby.
Zoidberg was the okay.
Zoidberg was the winner.
Zoidberg comes up a
Okay.
lot in the
He does.
randomization.
So here's Kyle. So we may have to start taking some off on the randomizations. Okay, Kyle.
And I get
A stormtrooper.
oh
Now I'm
god.
jealous.
I hope
you
the
know anything
competition
about
is not
stormtroopers, Kyle?
shooting things.
Or getting hit with lasers.
Lasers.
Okay, let's shuffle this a little bit more.
Shuffle, shuffle, shuffle.
Okay, ready?
Is this the
Our
activity?
location.
Oh, location. Okay.
Yep. Springfield Nuclear Power Plant. So we have Hermes, we have
Conrad.
Bobby Hill, Hermes
Hermes
Conrad,
Comrade. Yeah.
Bobby Hill, and a stormtrooper at the Springfield Nuclear Power Plant.
What are we doing?
Professional wrestling. Oh God. I don't think this is advantageous for any three of our characters.
This is going to be the ugliest match ever. I think Hermes has some advantage here with his.
I think he does too. So,
Yeah, I mean, I'm,
props, you're the guest, so you will get to go first.
Oh, let's see here. Hermes Conrad. Grade 36 bureaucrat. Very proud of it. Professional wrestling. You know, he works at Planet Express and they deal with like shipping and handling. Maybe he's got some background in moving crates, so maybe, you know, he's going to be a little bit stronger in that aspect. Maybe if somebody like pops off on him about filing or whatever, he could probably, you know, I think he might take it. I honestly think he might take it because I just don't see a stormtrooper doing so well in that aspect.
oh, you wait. Bullshittery abound.
So
No, I think Hermes Conrad's got it, man. He's from the future.
Put my performance
He is from
enhancement in real quick.
He'll find a way.
um
You're from like a long time ago.
I'm having a really hard time with this one because I have a little doughy kid for a professional wrestling environment versus two grown-ass adults. The reason I think Bobby might be able to take this, Bobby is a professional actor. He loves to act. He was Tartuffe, the spry wonder dog. What is professional wrestling? Professional wrestling is acting. It is playing out a character. Bobby,
Role-playing.
even if role playing, even if he lost the match, he would win the war because Bobby has the skills. He sewed Hank's favorite jeans back together after Peggy ruined them. He is able to knit. He's able to sew. He has the acting background to put together a character. Why is this important at the power plant? Because there is so many objects at the power plant that you could utilize there. From the dogs, you know, he could use the dogs as props. Okay, hell, if Homer can't melt down that damn power plant after 32 years of negligence, Bobby's not going to do anything. Even if he hits the supposed meltdown button, by, hitting a stormtrooper in the back of the head with a chair. Nothing's going to happen there. He can use the power plant to his advantage. He can get the donuts. I don't think he can get the donuts because Bobby would probably actually grab the. Well, no, that's what he would do. Bobby would grab the donuts and hide somewhere under a desk eating these while Hermes and the stormtrooper are beating the shit out of each other. Bobby would swoop in for the win, just like he did when he was supposed to be in PE doing the running. Instead, he went to the deli and got the gout because he was eating so much deli meat. Bobby's smart like that. That's why I think Bobby would win. He's smart. He's smart in the gout. That's why I think Bobby would win.
All right. And
Kyle,
you're really riding this Bobby Hill thing as far as you
I have to. I haven't won one yet.
So the ring is set up at the power plant, inside the power plant. Hermes is there. Bobby's there. The stormtrooper goes to make an entrance. This, they have a bit of a identity crisis issue because they don't really feel like they're individuals. They really feel like they're all the same, and they want to make, this one will want, like, this is his chance to break free from the crowd and be that one stormtrooper that everybody knows and really becomes the face of stormtrooper. Like he wants to be famous, and so he walks into the ring, sees that Bobby and Hermes are there in the ring, so to make a big show of everything, he goes to fire off his blasters. All right. I mean, nothing's cooler than wrestling and lasers, right? Lasers.
Lasers.
Right. I mean, he's going to want to, like maybe aim towards the ring to make some sparks and stuff fly to make it look really cool. But he's probably not going to hit his target. So not hitting where you're... Accuracy is key if you're shooting off a space tech laser inside a nuclear power plant. Accuracy is key. Laser. Blaster. Okay, so, I mean, he's going to miss his mark. More than likely, probably hit some reactor, some safety valve, something inside the nuclear power plant that is going to explode, right? Explodes. He's in his suit. He's got some protection. He's more protected than the other two, than the squishy guy and Limbo fella. So the explosion is going to probably instantly take out both Hermes and Bobby. The stormtrooper is likely going to survive. He's not going to be well off from it, but he will probably survive from his errant blast that hits a reactor, explodes everything. Last man standing. He wins by default.
God, I wish you would have gone before me because I would argue with you on this point
There's
so much.
so much argument going on.
Because we all know that these damn stormtroopers don't have any filters in there.
And the minute he shoots and hits a power plant, you're hearing a Wilhelm scream.
Okay, you guys have to. Okay, if you guys are still with us, you have to disregard after everything that Props and I just said.
Yeah.
What we're talking about.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, all that damning evidence that you just heard, please erase it from your brain.
But it has to be.
So
because it wasn't during our official turn, so it doesn't exist. But God, I want.
There's so much more knowledge. Like I actually Googled about Hermes now, and I'm like, oh man, I could use that. I could use that. I could use that. Like,
I could have went ham on Hermes.
Oh yeah, because
not knowing the character, man. Like I know of him, but I don't know much about him.
That's what the beauty of Nerddrome is, especially finding characters you don't know and just BSing and trying to get. It's a good debater. It's just trying to get people on your side, and that's all this is.
Hermes for the win, guys.
I remember it was Bobby versus Megatron and the Apocalypse.
Yeah, that's what it was. Because
that's why I got my ass whooped at that.
Because my Megatron knowledge is thin, and I'm just like, okay.
But he's a giant apocalyptic robot.
Yeah, I'm like, big ass robot. I got this. So
versus Bobby
that's all you had to say. I'm a big ass robot who's been decapitated and still survived.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
turned into Galvatron.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So who won? We're gonna open up the voting at the time of this episode.
Hermes.
There's something tells me Hermes.
Mhm.
You guys,
Stormtroopers
it's up
need
to
to
you.
win.
We
Storm-
presented our cases. It's up to you.
Mhm.
Let us know your thoughts. And that's also what there's also a section for the nerd drum discussion too. If you all feel strongly one way or another,
Mhm. Especially about how
write it
wrong
in
Chris
there.
is. Yeah, throw that in there.
How right Chris is on this one, because Bobby is going to take this one. Not someone who can't even hit his pee in the toilet. Stormtrooper.
That wasn't if the activity would have been pissing in a urinal, I would have forfeited. Game over.
Like I had to do with Blade.
Mhm.
Yeah, so let us know. So now we come to the section props. What are you watching or reading this week? It doesn't have to be both. It can be one of the other. It can be two things. What are you watching or reading?
Not really reading too much lately. Do more audiobooks than anything. So more listening than on that subject.
That counts.
Okay, but so for watching,
Mhm.
Previously when you guys were doing your episodes, I binge watched all of the MCU. And of course WandaVision, but now I've jumped back to the DC universe. And I have been binge watching all the Netflix series or the CW of The Flash, which I'm stuck on an episode, so I had to go back and now I'm binge watching Supergirl. And once that's done, I will go back and binge watch The Arrow to catch up so everything ties up properly. Because there's a continued on a different version, So I've been binge watching Supergirl, and what can I say about that?
It's a shame they're canceling it. It really is.
It is. I very much enjoy the DC universe. So much more so than actually the MCU, but MCU has been coming a long way, especially with their most recent one with the WandaVision. I'm very much enjoying that. Don't tell me about the latest episodes because I haven't seen them, and that's why I haven't listened to you guys' podcast.
Oh, so you didn't see Ray come in? Okay.
Well, okay, cool. Thanks.
With her Ray
I've
blaster.
even had to remove myself. I didn't actually remove myself, but I haven't been jumping into the ETGN Discord because I don't want spoilers.
Well, you better catch up then, sir, because we got our next Nerkies coming.
All of our theories are right.
Right.
All of them.
Everything.
I do have to give it to Guyver though. A lot of his in the beginning theories have landed true.
Don't feed the beast.
No, it's feed the beast. Feed the beast.
I pat you on the back for that one. That was actually
Thanks,
quite amazing.
Thanks.
But yeah, so as far as watching, I've been watching a lot of like Supergirl and the DC Universe TV shows for the CW. And as far as reading, what is the current book that I am listening to? I got really into lit RPGs.
What is
I
that?
think I remember you telling me about those one night.
Lit RPGs. Okay, so basically, how do I
Somebody
relate
did.
this? The closest I can relate this is Sword Art Online or Ready Player One. People who play a video game, but they actually get stuck in the video game or
Nice.
transferred to an alternate reality where the video game concept is in play.
And this is a book series, or is it just one?
There's so many books on it, and
is it like the same character? Is it multiple?
Like it'll follow multiple characters.
But they're all the same world, right? Because this sounds really interesting.
Geez, hold on, let me pull up my library. Okay, so I recommend for reading or listening to Eden's Gate. I believe right now it's up to 7 books or 8 books now. It's really great. It follows a guy who gets transported to or it gets transported into a game. And like it's like the game actually, is it Eden's Gate? Eden's Gate is the one where a game developer, much like Sword Art Online, develops a world. And on the initial release date, kills like 5.6 million people. But he doesn't kill them, he transfers their subconscious into the game.
So it's Sword Art Online.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
And unfortunately, the last time I was listening to it, the stories that the developer had set in place, because of the certain players are progressing faster than other players, they're kicking off other parts of the story faster in the game. Things are happening much quicker than they're supposed to.
Oh, okay.
Because certain people who dive into video games, you know, for days on end got transported to that world. So they're finding ways to
This actually sounds
advance.
really fascinating. Like, who writes it?
That one is written by
Oh,
Edward Brody.
Okay, so it's multiple people writing these. So it's the same universe, or is it different universes?
Different universes. Not all of them correlate with one another.
So it's the same basic.
Just this, yeah. The style of the book is a lit RPG.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Then there's The Land, which is a great book also.
Cover art's very fantasy, like
yeah,
Tolkien-esque fantasy stuff.
Lately I've been listening to Sky Realms Online, and it's pretty much in this concept of Eden's Gate. A guy gets teleported into a game, but it was during like an electrical storm apparently that was happening on Earth in the near future, and they get teleported into the game, and NPCs are now real people, you know. He's just became like an owner of his own village, and that wasn't a concept that was originally in the game. And he's starting to notice like a lot of different things, and he's like, some of the gamers that get put into the game, they have like this hatred towards NPCs, and they're just killing off the NPCs. This guy has like feelings for the NPCs, like he's treating them as real people because this is his life now. And
these look really, really interesting. I'm looking these up right now.
Yeah, I was doing
This
the same.
looks really, really interesting.
I hardcore recommend Eden's Gate and The Land.
It's like all the Eden's Gate are on Kindle Unlimited, not the Prime reading, but the
Mhm.
Kindle Unlimited.
If you do the audiobooks, personally, I like audiobooks because I work with my hands a lot, so I ain't got time to sit down and read. Between that and Twitch and prop making, pop in your headphones while you're at work and just go to it. That's what I do.
Sounds interesting.
And I believe for Eden's Gate and The Land, Nick Podell does the reading, and that guy is amazing. Like, he adds sound effects into it, and it's great, very immersive.
Immersion.
Mm-hmm.
Immersion.
Kyle, what are you watching or reading?
I'm watching and reading the same thing right now, actually. Well,
Ooh,
let me back
what
up.
is that,
Let me
sir?
back up. I'll go to that. I did watch with the kids. We watched the newest Fantastic Four movie the other day. And it was.
Ugh.
Oh, no.
Don't even say interesting, because when you get an hour into that damn movie and they're still talking.
Yeah. There was
And
so much.
you know me, I love every damn movie.
Except for that one Hulk movie. But, you
Except
know.
for that one Hulk movie.
The
Don't
newest
get me started.
Fantastic Four. Which one is that one?
That's the one with Miles Teller.
Is that freaking
Like 2015.
Michael B. Jordan as Johnny Storm.
I haven't seen that one yet.
You're probably fine.
Yeah.
Is that the Rise of the Silver? No.
No. So this one is the one with Miles Teller, Michael B. Jordan. All the fanboys went just absolutely ape shit because Michael B. Jordan was playing Johnny Storm because he's black.
Oh.
Ah.
He did a good job for what he was given.
He
I'll put
did.
it that way.
He did. It just like it was like there was so much potential, so much like build up, and then like it was just over.
Thing
Is
didn't
it?
even look like Thing.
Now, was it maybe a progression to do a sequel?
It felt like
No,
it.
I just think
It felt like they
I just
wanted
think they
to.
didn't know what the hell they were doing.
No,
Well-
because I enjoy movies that leave it open for.
Yeah, it felt like it was a big, or I mean, it was an origin story, but like it was a build up to maybe continue on the franchise, and then like nothing happened. So,
Mm.
but I
Because
watched
you
that.
can't do that if you're doing an origin.
Yeah,
What they
I
did.
watched that, and then I started watching The Boys, and started reading The Boys, and I am enjoying the ever loving shit out of this. Like, I'm anxious for us to wrap up so I can go back and like crank out 2 more episodes. And I'm doing it kind of in a weird fashion. I asked Chris's opinion on this. So, a lot of the book series, a lot of the volumes are out on like Prime Reading, Kindle Unlimited, and all this stuff. So, I know the first 2 volumes are, and I watched or read the first volume, started the second volume. I'm like 4 or 5 episodes into the first season, and so now I'm at that point. Like, do I read ahead, or do I watch ahead, or do I watch and read at the same time? Like, I've backed myself into a corner now, and I don't know where to go.
Mhm.
But I'm thinking I may go ahead and just binge and crank out the 2 seasons that are out there, and then go back and finish the book. 'Cause that's kind of what I did
Mhm.
with Walking Dead. And then when I got to a point where I was even, or as close as I could be with even with The Walking Dead, with the books and the show, then I kind of paced through it at that point.
Let me preference on that. We are going to be doing episodes on The Boys, both the comics and the TV show. Tread lightly if you are going to read the comics. If you are thinking about just going to read the comics with your kids, for the love of God, do not do that.
Or watch the show with your kids.
So Garth Ennis, I believe he's Scottish, one of my favorite authors, comic writers. Love him. He writes some of the most messed up shit I have ever read in my life. One of his series is called Crossed. The main villain in Crossed, the character's name is Horsecock. Because he carries around, use your imagination, to slap people with.
A
Crossed
chicken the
is a
size
great
of a horse.
Yeah, it's kind of like Walking Dead, except these people aren't dead. They get these like crosses across their face that are like boils, and like it opens up their faces, and it makes them lose all inhibitions, like any sense of right and wrong, and it's all wrong.
Of course.
He's the guy who wrote The Boys. The Boys, the comic is so bad and graphic. I love it. But do not, if you are easily offended, do not even crack it open.
They hit some really good social topics.
Now I'm gonna have to find
Props, get the omnibuses. I originally had all the comics. Then I traded them in for trade paperbacks. I think I still got my signed copies from Garth. And then I've got the omnibuses.
Now, did he do Preacher?
He did Preacher also.
Okay. I started
Preacher
reading
exists.
Preacher a long time ago and didn't get very far.
So if you watch the TV show of Preacher, it is nothing like the comics.
No.
Just be warned. Don't get me wrong, it's great, but you cannot be easily offended if you read anything he writes.
But there are, I mean, he does hit some very good like social issues in a really
100%
weird,
he does.
bastardized, roundabout way, but he doesn't skirt around them. I'll put it that way.
And I'll put it this way: season 3 of The Boys, they've already announced that Herogasm will be part of it. It's not going to be exactly the same as in the comics, but there's an event called Herogasm. So
I'm excited for
don't
that.
read it with your kids. Yeah, so they're great books, though. Like I said, don't be easily offended if you want to read them, but they're great. They really are. You have to have a kind of a twisted sense of humor to appreciate them too, I think.
What are you reading and watching?
I am watching. We watched. I think we mentioned this last. I can't remember if we mentioned this last week or not. We're like on our 5th showing of Raya and the Last Dragon. I don't
Heard
know if I
great
mentioned that
things.
or not. It is. Of course, I have a buddy who's like, "Oh, before it came out, it's going to be terrible. I heard the story's terrible, but then the cinematography is great." And blah blah. I'm not going to watch it. I'm not going to pay $30. It was one of the best $30 I've ever spent.
That's on my
The
list
girls
when
love
the
it. Like
kids come back.
I had to go buy toys. It's cool. You get to show there's a princess who's like, your kids. It's pretty cool. The whole cast is Asian also. Kelly Marie Tran, Rose Tico is in it, and she got some Disney justice in this because she knocked it out of the ballpark. She's Raya. Raya. I can never remember. I always get corrected on it. But there's 2 white people in it, and one of them is Alan Tudyk, who's Tuk Tuk, her bugbear. So he and D. Bradley Baker always get the animals. Like D. Bradley Baker, Klaus on American Dad, did Momo and Appa on Avatar: The Last Airbender. Yep. So he's in it. It's phenomenal. It is probably one of the most. It's the movie. I remember B. Rob texted me saying, "You need to watch this. This is a phenomenal." He called it too. This is the movie 2021 needs. It's about trust and hope. That's what the whole movie's about, and it's great to watch with your kids, even if you don't have kids. It's beautiful.
Thanks.
I am also reading actually another one that I'm really enjoying. There's an anime series. There's a couple. I'm waiting till this one gets a little further, but I'm bringing up the name because I can never remember it.
My Hero Academia.
Well, besides that,
That's what my kid's on right now, so I need to watch that.
It's a good one, dude.
Oh, the latest chapter just came out and is so far past the TV show right now, and it's getting deep and heavy. That's one of my favorites. I'm
a big One Piece fan.
Oh, me too. They're on a good arc right now too.
I'm so far behind.
Oh, it's so good.
I made the mistake of starting to watch it as a dubbed instead of subbed.
So you're waiting.
And I binged, this was like fucking 2 years ago. I binged up to season 9, I think it was.
Yeah.
And then it just stopped.
Yep.
Yeah. My Attack on Titan struggles. So
the dubbed, and then I was like, I'll just watch it on subbed, and then like all the voices changed, and I'm like, my immersion.
Because they went from they went from 4Kids to Funimation. So and
I mean,
the theme song changed too. Okay, that's awesome. Props. I actually thought of you this week. I went to this. I didn't even know it's called Hobbies and More. We have it here in the town I work in, and they had a bunch of Gundam statues, everything. And I looked.
Game on.
Oh, I looked. There was some One Piece statues in there. There was Ace, which looked amazing. There was Zoro, Sanji, and a Boa Hancock.
Oh, I killed
and they
Luffy.
looked awesome.
There's my Zoro.
Okay, that one is awesome. Is that single eye Zoro or double eye Zoro?
This is single eye Zoro.
Okay, so it's
after
the new
he's gotten training. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, it's awesome. So I saw that and I'm like, I got to go back for the Ace. I love Ace. I'm also watching Mushoku Tensei, Jobless Reincarnation. I actually, if you go into our anime section on EGTN, you can hit exclamation anime and then type in the anime you want to share with other people. We do that once in a while. It is a really messed up one where it's, the guy dies, gets reincarnated into another world, except in the previous world, he was a fat loser. He was a shut-in that was just like this sexual deviant. He was a terrible person. He got reincarnated as a baby with huge magical powers, and it's about how he's changing his life because he still retains the knowledge from his past life, and he's trying to change that.
Oh, that sounds cool.
Oh, so it's kind of like the one time I got reincarnated as a slime.
Yep. Except it's a lot more messed up because this character is obsessed with boobs.
What is the other one?
I mean,
like any of them.
No.
One time I got reincarnated as slime. There's
Is it-
ReZero. There's
Is it like the Wizard of Grandpa or Grandpa's son or something like that? Or
there's Overlord. There is, I think I know which one you're talking about, and it's going to drive me nuts till I figure it out now.
I'm gonna have to open up my Funimation now.
Yeah, do it. But yeah, no, it's like that. This one's on Funimation, and they've already said I'm really enjoying it. It's kind of slow paced, but they've already said this is a long term one. It's going to be a
Oh,
one
Wise
piece
Man's
one.
Grandchild.
Oh yeah, I love Wiseman's Grandchild too. That was a great one. I'm hoping they get a season 2 on that. But yeah, it's very similar to that, except
Okay.
the guy Rudius, he
Mhm.
is. We got just past where he's 5 or 6, and he's 10 years old now, and we're on episode like 9.
Oh,
So if that tells you what the pacing is on this, but it's just fun. It's a lot of fun.
so it's on pace for a regular Japanimation, about 20 episodes, and it'll probably be done. Or
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, there's some great anime. I'll run a whole freaking 6 episodes with you guys if you want to talk about animes.
Oh yeah, no, we're gonna have a lot of anime episodes too.
I mean, after Lost, The Rise of the Shield Hero, Black Clover, let's go.
Cannot wait for the that is October, I believe. Rising of the Shield Hero season 2.
I'm so ready for it, dude.
I am too. It was such a
God,
great
it was
show.
such an awesome show.
Another one where the character gets reincarnated.
Mm-hmm.
Except he's not overpowered initially. Yeah, we'll definitely talk about that more. And then I'm rereading my Onslaught omnibus of X-Men,
Oh, nice.
which I love that one. I've got a lot of omnibuses, and I'm rereading that one. So, yeah, so that's where we are. Props, we want to really, really thank you for. I know this is taking away time from your family and everything else, but we appreciate you taking time out to talk to us and explain this.
course.
We would, if you're willing, we'd like to have you back to go into higher or more
I'd love
in-depth
to be back.
overviews. And Props is actually a listener of the show, which helps us a lot because we appreciate you all.
We do.
And I commend you guys on everything you're doing. I've not been disappointed with a single podcast.
Well,
You guys
thank
are doing
you.
great.
Thanks.
I mean, it's the end of the episode, so I can't kick you off yet. So you don't have to say that.
Tell us how you really feel.
Because
Yeah.
the community you guys are building is just fantastic, and it's not just you guys aren't just like subjugating to a single type of form of nerdism. I guess it would be said like it's not just okay, here's comic books. No, you
Mhm.
guys, comic books, anime, freaking the MCU. You guys have just completely branched out to almost, I think, everything. I mean,
And that's the plan.
Mhm.
it's just fantastic.
Oh, speaking of branching out, next at the time of this recording, the next 2 Nerkies we're going to be in prep because next week is the Snyder Cut of Justice League next Thursday. Which, if you guys didn't know, last week it was leaked online already. Not online, but on HBO Max. Someone put it in place of the Tom and Jerry movie. So it said Tom and Jerry, you clicked on it, and it was the Snyder Cut. So there's leaked clips online. Some people have already seen it, and I didn't look at anything that they posted, but they posted really positive reviews of it. I'll put it that way. So we're going to probably do a Nerky on that. I think Kyle and I talked about it at one point.
Mhm.
And then the next day, that's Thursday. The next day is the start of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I am really excited to Nerky that one.
Mhm.
Really excited. It's only going to be 6 episodes, but those are probably going to be our next 2 Nerkies.
Be good stuff. I'm excited for it. I'm really ready to see how MCU carries forward. And
I am too. Oh, important to note, just came out. I read an article yesterday morning about it. I think it was, what's his last name? Feige. Kevin, the guy in charge of Marvel.
Feige.
Pronounce it. Feige, as I would pronounce it.
Mhm.
He said, and I quote, later on during phase 4, we will see who Randall or Jimmy Woo's missing person is. So we never found out.
Good.
He said we will see in the movies who the missing person was. I have a feeling this missing person is a suit at this point now.
Yeah.
If we have, you know,
I still think it's Fietro.
I hope it's Fietro. He better stick around.
Yeah.
So, with that, we've rambled on long enough. Again, props. Thank you for being here. We appreciate
Appreciate
you.
Of course.
Thank you all so much for listening to us. What our next episode will be, I don't know yet.
No idea.
We'll let you know.
We got nothing.
We've got a well,
Yeah, we got
we've
stuff.
got a lot.
But yeah, we got
We
got
just
nothing
haven't
as far
picked
as
it
like
yet.
what we're gonna do, but we got a lot of. If
We
you
haven't
guys saw
picked
the
it yet.
list, we got a lot of. We got a lot of shit out there to cover.
And we're
And we're gonna do it.
we're always adding to it.
Yeah.
So just we'll let you know as it gets closer.
Mhm.
So we appreciate you all. So thank you for listening to Everyman's Guide to Nerdom. I'm Chris.
And I'm Kyle, and thank you, Propsy, for hanging out with us tonight. You guys out
Thanks
there
for having me.
listening, be good to each other, and have a great day, night, or whatever it is where you are while you're listening.
So we appreciate you. Thank you.
Nerd Corker, rise up. It could get elevated. Nerd Corker, rise up. It could get elevated. Nerdcore used to be just a made up word. MCs shied away from belief. Rest assured.